Welcome to Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from Central California with your hosts Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting video worldwide at ParanormalCentral.net and broadcasting audio on the Dark Matter Network at ArtBell.com. Are you ready to witness something you cannot explain?
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from the bottom left-hand corner of the Nevada Triangle in Fresno, California. Hello, my name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. Welcome wherever you may be. I appreciate you tuning in on a Sunday evening. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez with my co-host Alan Thomas seated to the right of me.
Hello everyone.
And
Hello.
manning the boards way back in the corner of Paranormal Central Studio. Then we have no lights in that corner because Emerald likes to be in the dark.
Heck yeah, hi guys.
Emerald is with us finally. Thank you, Emerald, for showing up. About time.
Shut up, you didn't miss me.
Got that right. Thank you for showing up. Again, this is Paranormal Central. Thank you. And I mean thank you, because without you guys, we have nothing. We have nada. We don't have a show. We are broadcasting live on HD on live stream. If that's where you are right now watching us, I appreciate it. You can also listen to us at the Dark Matter Network at artbell.com. That's right, artbell.com. The website is broadcasting our Signal HD audio worldwide on the Dark Matter system, on the Dark Matter Network. So you got two ways of catching us, either live stream or artbell.com. Tonight is a full night. We have 4 people we are going to be talking to live on the phone. We have Danny Valdrama for the Bigfoot Report. Then we have Alex Chinetti calling from Los Angeles. We're going to be talking about the Roswell photographs. And then we have a Stace, I'm not going to tell you her last name, but we're going to talk about ley lines in America, the hot spot, UFOs, crop circles. And then we're going to be talking to somebody else. His name is Tom Sanger. No relation to the city of Sanger, but we're going to get into it, and we're going to talk about the Palladian, possible a skywatch happening on the west coast of the United States, and we're going to talk about that as well. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to get a hold of Danny. I think Emerald already has called Danny, and we're going to bring him up. Danny, are you there?
I'm here.
All right.
Yay, Danny.
All right.
Like everybody's here.
Everybody is here. It's about
Got a full boat.
It's about freaking
Rare.
time. It's rare. The world is going to end. So.
Well, we're missing one.
Oh, Heidi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Heidi's
Heidi is
in
still
the
in the
hospital.
hospital. Freaking
Wow,
Heidi.
yeah.
Get
Still?
duct tape, woman. That's an inside joke.
Poor Heidi.
All right. Before we get to going with Danny, first of all, last week's show was an awesome show. We had a lot of great feedback and a couple of negativities on that. But you know what? The positive outweighed the negative. So, yeah. They knocked that video out. We were out for 4 days. For some reason, I don't think it was live stream per se, but someone turned off that video so no one could have watched it on live stream. I mean, I couldn't see it. Nobody was. I mean, I was getting emails. You were getting emails. What happened to the video? I can't watch it, so they would have to go to YouTube. Finally, on Friday, they turned it on somehow, or they fixed the problem. Kind of weird, because
Really weird.
we were talking about a lot of stuff on the Torah codes, and including one subject that, when you talk about this particular subject, they tend to come down on you hard, and that is the President of the United States of America. We talked about him in there.
They call him POTUS.
And and I'm not saying that that's the reason, but the Torah codes had something on Mr. President Obama about his past. And if you want to catch that, then you can go back and listen to the archives or watch the archives, and you can find out what the Torah codes actually talked about on him. So, all right, let's get in with Danny. Danny, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. All right, so what's going on with the Bigfoot world?
They're saying crank the sound up.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
hold on here. I'm gonna crank it up here a little bit through
Right, here you go.
through live stream.
Just yell, Danny.
Yeah.
I missed the owl.
What?
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 What'd you say?
Just to yell.
Just yell. All right, I'm turning that sucker up. So, all right, I'm hoping that everybody now is saying yes or nay. So, we'll
Yes.
see what happens. Yeah. So, on chat right now, hopefully we'll get a respond back, and we'll see if the volume is good where it's at. If not, we'll go up higher.
They'll let me know. We'll just continue on.
Okay. Let me go up a little higher. How about to check 1, 2? All right. How about right there? All right, Daddy, go for it. You sent me.
All right.
Okay, hold on. For all those who are watching us right now, I am going to be putting up some pictures that Danny sent me. And for those who are listening at the artbell.com website on the Dark Matter Network, we sent over the photographs to Keith at the artbell.com station in I don't know where he's at, Arizona, I think. And he posted them up on artbell.com on the homepage right now. Mark Paranormal Central with today's date on it, Bigfoot Report. So you can watch those pictures that I post up here. You can look at them there, no problem. So, all right, Danny, go for it, dude. We are going to go to the desktop and we're going to put up picture number 1. You got 2 guys there, right? Is that it?
Yep.
Okay.
It's from the Squatch Detective blog, and Steve Coles, and it's from New York State. 2 of his Squatch Detective field team leaders were out on the field. They went to their research area. Ted V. and then Steve K. went to their research area, and they met up with other researchers from a Northeast Anomalous Research Group, and they noticed 2 trucks that were there ahead of them. And on the back of these trucks, it said Bigfoot Crossing. They had signs on them, and they knew they weren't from their team because all their team cars are unmarked. So they started looking around the area, and they came across the next picture, picture 2, and it's a footprint that they found in the mud. And they started looking around a couple more areas, and they found the second footprint. And the sad thing is, just looking at these pictures, you can tell that they're not real. And I hadn't read the article yet, and I was wondering if I should comment and say, hey, those aren't real.
Those are awfully square, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
And
kind of.
I didn't want to start a big argument there because usually people are pretty defensive. So I said, hey, let's just finish reading the article. And they saw exactly what I saw on there. And you can tell that the heel is kind of squared.
Yeah.
It's not round at all. And the toes, you can't see really clear toes.
No.
There's no depression in the middle, what you look for, of a flexible heel.
Right. That looks like a freaking board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing, or somebody put something on their shoe, and was walking
man.
around.
I mean, really?
Stomped around. There's no flexibility on there. So these guys, they said that these guys don't understand that they've been doing this for 16 years, and they can spot it instantly too, and that's what they did. It's either a great footprint, and they said that the ground in New York is so hard that you rarely get good footprints, or you can see the arch that's a human foot or a stamper, and then that's what this is in this case. They stamped them in there.
Right. Stamp.
But they wanted to post these and share these because they want everybody to know what a fake footprint looks like.
So are they saying that the trucks before them are the one who did this?
That's what they think, yeah.
Okay.
But they said that the activity, they've been searching in this area since 2000 when they had an encounter there that was reported to them, and they've been getting great results and everything. And since 2013, they've noticed that the activity has dropped, with the exception they had one rock throwing incident there in the fall in that year. But since then, it's really died off, and they're thinking that these guys are going in there and scaring everything away, or they just moved on.
Well,
with these guys being there, they set up trail cameras anyways to try to catch these guys.
Right.
See who they are at least.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why if you find a spot where you think these creatures are, you don't let anybody else know about it, because then you got idiots like this who go in there and mess it up for everybody.
Yeah. That's why they only said Area 1. I don't know how these other guys found it, but they're trying to get pictures of them. But, yeah, you can see everything on there. Yeah. You don't see where the heel lands.
No, not at all. I see a board, dude. I see a
yeah.
freaking board. Okay.
In the middle, when the front of the footprint, the foot pushes up, it creates a mound in the middle, and that's how you can tell it's a flexible foot.
I mean,
you don't see any toes. They're splayed or anywhere, and each track, the toes will be a little bit different, meaning that's a real living creature that's making these footprints.
Or whatever.
But there's none of that on these, so they just want everybody to know that what fake footprints look like.
Right. So. Okay. So let's go to the next one, and just to let everybody know, the Bay Area just got, and I don't know what they just got, it was like about half an hour ago, a 3.9 in, where about? Concord, California, 3.9.
So like
Napa. And in LA, it was a 4.0. That was yesterday. So San Andreas Fault is rocking, guys, right now. Okay.
They've had several in Concord, a couple before the earthquake, and then a couple after.
It was like a 2.5, if I'm not mistaken, right? Okay.
The small ones.
Right. So it was leading up to that one, and then all of a sudden there's...
So bye, Bay Area. Nice knowing you.
James Box.
Man, like, when I lived in L.A. in the 70s and they had a really big one, it started off with little ones.
Right.
Like every so few days, you know, and they got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then one morning, it was 7 point something.
Right.
And then they got littler and littler and littler.
Right.
So, I mean, it rock and rolled for like
that's
3
what,
months.
And that's what the scientists say, that that's how it starts, with the small ones, and it occurs up the big ones, and all of a sudden, boom!
Really big
let's
one.
go. So, all right.
I wonder
Okay.
what happened, like Nepal. They didn't even have, did they have warning ones?
Oh, I don't know.
Like, bam.
Okay, I got the next picture up, and I see a taboo.
Picture 4, yeah. This is a subject that was brought up on the Crypto Crew. This is from last year, but it's pretty relevant now with everything going on. This was written by Dorian Fisher, and it's all the taboo topics on Bigfoot that nobody wants to talk about. So be careful when sightings reports. Be careful of the reports that you dismiss, and be careful what you choose. You might not to believe, because you might miss something very important, and it might change the Bigfoot game forever. So picture 4 is the Bigfoot holding his finger over his mouth, telling you not to talk about him. But most people believe that Bigfoot was a mythical creature, but now with the thousands of reports and sightings from credible witnesses and law enforcement and everybody around there, and footprints and blood and hair, that's all changing. People are starting to believe, without even actually seeing one, that something is out there. And the next picture is picture 5.
Okay. Picture
kind of like
5.
Mickey. He saw the windows and, you know, the lips and the nose on the windows.
Right.
And he never saw a Bigfoot, but only he believes, because of the evidence left by a Bigfoot on a window, he believes in one.
Yeah. And he knows that we did not have the know-how to put the grooves on the lips.
Right.
That's what he said to me afterwards. He goes, you know, I know these things are real, Jeff, because you would not know how to do something like that.
Yeah, we're idiots.
I was going to say that too right now. I mean, we're idiots.
Especially with all the food back there too.
Oh my, no, yeah.
Oh man,
and nothing touched the food.
Yeah, if it would have bear would have, we would have.
I would have no truck.
Like, it would have been all over the place.
I would have no truck.
Yeah.
Or ice chests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and no log would have been in the road. You know, all the logs that were across the road, those wouldn't have been there. Bears wouldn't have put those.
And I left a tri-tip in David's truck, and that thing, when he opened it up, smelled of tri-tip.
Big time.
It did, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
I tell you, people, Bigfoot is real.
Wow, so that's like, who is that? What's that guy's name? Meldrum? Is that Meldrum?
That's in the younger years, I guess, huh?
Yeah, like a young guy.
I wasn't going to say if that's him or not, but it sure looks like him.
Which picture are you looking at?
The one with the guy with the foot.
Okay, that's picture 6.
Did I miss one?
This is, yeah.
No, it says Dan 5 on top. Oh, maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe got misnumbered.
What am I supposed to be looking at right now?
He's holding up right now. Picture 6 is the man holding up the footprint.
Yes.
Yeah, the foot cast.
Is that right?
Bigfoot. Yeah.
Okay, it's up. There it is.
And the Bigfoot footprints were all considered fakes until a Washington State University professor, Grover Krantz, who's standing right there, discovered thermal ridges in the footprints, and those are just like fingerprints on a human. So he said that these are authentic footprints. And I think right there he's looking at the one that was crippled.
Oh yeah, you can tell the foot's off.
Yeah, I have a copy of that one. It's pretty creepy.
You would have it. You freak.
I always have them.
Do you have a room especially for all your Bigfoot stuff, Danny?
Not yet.
Not yet. You gonna make one?
Kids are leaving soon. Down to one kid.
Kick him out of here.
Wow, you're down to one kid now?
We'll be down to one kid in a couple months.
Wow. Oh, they're all growing up too fast.
Yep. So picture 6,
Okay.
people are also talking about getting zapped when they go out and Bigfoot hunting and they get too close to these things. It's kind of like a defense mechanism.
Right.
They're saying that they'll go out, and they've been saying that for years, but now more and more people are experiencing this, and it's starting to get accepted as truth, and that's also known as infrasound.
Right.
Large animals can do that. Also, the weather can do that. It's a very low frequency sound. It's inaudible to a human, kind of like a bass sound, but you can feel it, and it causes effects on people. And they include anxiety, extreme sorrow, chills. Some people get pressure in their chest, nauseated, get a nervous feeling, fear, and an interesting one is hallucinations. When something starts to throw their infrasound at you to try to get you out of that area. So, and the same thing could be said for haunted houses too. If there's a lot of infrasound in there, something causing the noise, you can get the same feeling and think that the house is haunted.
Oh, isn't it usually like electromagnetic, what they call it, EMF in haunted houses?
It's kind of like the same thing as an EMF. It is. It's really close. But I guess the ear can anything from 0 to 20 hertz is infrasound, and then from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz is a regular sound that people can hear, and anything over 20,000 hertz is ultrasonic. So NASA did a test that revealed that the human eyeball resonates around 18 hertz. So if you have infrasound around 17 to 19 hitting you, then you can start to have hallucinations. Your eyes can actually start to see something that's not there, according to NASA.
Whoa.
Wow.
So that could explain some of these things that we're going to talk about too.
Okay.
Well, you know Joe, our buddy Joe, that goes up with us. When he sets his tent up, he actually puts a tarp over the tent, and that's to keep the Bigfoot from seeing through the tent and sending in the infrasound.
And what is this particular plastic made out of, or tarp?
No, just an extra tarp over the tent. And he says that like when you turn your light on, it can see your shadows and stuff.
Yeah.
So he puts the tarp, and it keeps them from doing the infrasound. He has a pacemaker, so he's like afraid of those things messing with his pacemaker. You know, he says it makes him sweat and feel like he's going to die.
All right, I'm going to go with the next photograph, and that's the item that's circled in red.
Picture 7. If you look closely, you would see a Bigfoot there, and a lot of people have been talking about cloaking.
Right.
And a lot of people roll their eyes as soon as they hear that word, and they get attacked on all the pages as soon as they say that. And a lot of people aren't coming forward because of that, and they're seeing this still.
It makes them
but now,
feel...
with so many witnesses finally coming forward, and the community has been forced to examine the idea more closely,
Right.
and possibly at least slowly come to a conclusion that the Squatches could have some kind of advanced camouflaging ability. Maybe not called cloaking, but something close to it, like a chameleon that can change its color, or
predator.
Or these guys just know how to hide.
Right.
Crazy.
I wonder where they got the idea for Predator, the movie.
Yeah, they came up with it somehow.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people that tell us about that. That is the example they use. It's like the Predator.
Cheryl, my wife, is still to this day, and she has a photograph, and we were up in the Sierras, and it's with our 2 boys that are leaning against this fence, up in where everybody goes, and there's people around, and I don't remember if she took the photograph or I took the photograph, but she swears there's an outline of a Bigfoot right behind them. And I cannot see it now, but she's going to have to find that photograph, and that way we can show it to you guys.
Yeah, let's see it.
And see what happens. But she swears to God that there's a Bigfoot right there behind the boys, and it's standing right there. So It's got to be in a hard drive someplace. We'll have to start looking for that sucker so we can show everybody. So. Yeah, I mean, we hear that a lot. All of a sudden you'll see a Bigfoot walking from left to right, and boom, it's gone. Well, wait a minute, there it reappeared, and now it's, I don't know, 50 feet to the right.
Videos where that Harley Hoffman video where it's walking up the hill, you only see it walking halfway up the hill, and it goes behind a tree, and you never see it again. It never comes out on the other side of the tree.
Well, it could have used the tree like it did to you, and go up the hill and using the tree as a barrier between the person, looking at it.
Down on all fours and get out of there.
Yeah, you never know, man. These things, I don't know how they do it, but
it's the only animal I know, like in the woods, that knows that it could get behind something like that and go directly away from you,
right,
and get away, and you didn't, you're waiting for it to come out, and it doesn't. It goes away from you,
right.
A deer, a bear, a coyote, everything else will run right by that tree, and they don't know they could use the tree as a cover to escape,
right.
But they do, those guys.
Okay, so all right.
This article is telling you to try to listen to all the stories and all that stuff, but there are still some people out there who want to tell you a lie to try to trick you, and then go on YouTube or saying, hey, I faked out this report, this Bigfoot researcher, and they totally bought my story. And that happened not too long ago with 2 kids out there faking footprints and stuff. And we talked about it on the show, and they fooled a couple guys. But, you still have to listen to all those stories.
Right.
You can't call anybody a liar because until you fully investigate it, because you might be missing something. And that's what this article is saying. Listen to everybody because you might be missing something. And Picture 8 is a lot of reports, especially near Mount Shasta, of Bigfoot and UFOs.
Yep. Same here.
That's why we get calls all the time, and me and Jeff go out there, and we look around, and we look at the guy in the eye.
Yeah. And now, Danny, were you with us when we went to the investigation at Academy and California Avenue? No, I don't think so. I think we just Ellen and myself.
I don't think so.
That's when the 2 girls were out there in their car eating their McDonald's, and they saw the Bigfoot run near the orange trees, and they swear there was a bright light.
Yep.
Remember? Right behind those trees, and they pointed at the trees, and they didn't say helicopter because it was silent. And, you would have noticed the trees would have probably been swaying left like this with the helicopter that low, but they said there was a bright, very bright light directly behind those trees. It wasn't a helicopter, man. Now, so was it a UFO? Was it something monitoring this particular Bigfoot that's really close to Sanger, California? That shouldn't be there. I don't know.
And that's not the only reports we got from around there.
Right, and then the lights that David Ragosa got on his camera up in the middle of freaking nowhere, that we probably still have to break out and show everybody, because it's been years since we've shown that to you guys. And
like in the last week or so, have you noticed that, Danny? The last week or so, all this extra paranormal stuff with Bigfoots is starting to come out. People are talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I brought this up. This whole story about things that people don't want to talk about, but things that are being reported now, and it's getting crazy. I mean, the next one, Picture 9 and 10, are Bigfoot portals.
Yeah,
that everybody's talking about.
Right.
And this is Dr. Matthew Johnson and his son Grady and Adam Davies and John Carlson. They went up to his site. For those who don't know, it's called Soha. It's a habituation site. It's on the California-Oregon border that Dr. Matthew Johnson goes to every 6 months or so, every time he gets a chance. And he took the Adam Davies, John Carlson up there in June of 2014, and they had a lot of activity all around them. And Adam and John were on the other side of the truck, and they called Matt over. So all 3, when Matt got there, they all witnessed what they say was a portal opening up. They said that the sky turned red in this one area, and the dark vegetation looked scruggly, and there were 2 3 to 3.5 foot tall creatures that came out and stood guard at the entrance to this red area. So his son was watching it too, and all 4 of them were witnesses. He says they don't know what the heck it was, but they're thinking it was a portal. And for some reason, Adam Davies and John Carlson are saying that they were demons, that the 2 guards were demons. And at first,
how did they know they were demons?
he said because they got aggressive with him after Matt went to bed that night. And Matt says, everyone said, why did he go to bed and everybody stay up? Well, his reason was because during the day, he took Adam and John sightseeing throughout Oregon and California, and they went to all the hot spots, and he was driving, and while he was driving, they were sleeping. So he was dead tired. He said there's no way he could stay up any longer, and they were wide awake because they had slept most of the day. So he had to go to sleep, but he had his night recorder on. He said everything that they talked about is backed up by his audio from that night. And he says after Matt went to sleep, these things started getting aggressive with him, and he did like a fake challenge to them, and they charged him. And when they charged him, he shined a spotlight on them, and he used the name.
Wait. Emerald, are you ready for this? All right, go ahead, Danny.
I don't know. Is she ready?
Yeah, she's ready. Go ahead. What words did they use?
He invoked the name of Christ and hit them with a flashlight, and they both turned around and went back. And then when he shined the light on the portal closed up. So
he used the word Christ or Jesus Christ?
He said he invoked the name of Christ.
Just Christ.
Is what he said.
Now, let's stop right there, you guys. All right. Lately, within the past week, I have been noticing, so has Alan and so has Danny, that for some reason or another, a lot of the paranormal groups, especially on Facebook, and they are not afraid anymore of these groups. They're coming out, and religion is now taking the forefront when it comes to the paranormal. For example, the Huffington Post people, the most liberal newspaper or news group ever, just came out, and I actually posted it on my Facebook about religion and paranormal. Here, Matthew Johnson now is coming out and stating that Bigfoot could be possibly demons, and by using two words, the words that we have been telling you about for the past 2 years here on Paranormal Central. This is where it all started, because we're not afraid to talk about it. We were getting slammed big time by everybody, but now within the past week, especially after the Torah Code episode of last week, everybody's now coming out and is not embarrassed to talk about religion and the paranormal together, and that's a good thing.
Well, like that, what happened to these guys happened 2 years ago, or a year.
So they kept. Okay, well, if that's the case, so they kept.
June of 2014, yes, they didn't want to say anything, and then Matt finally broke the story at his conference, the Team Squatching Bigfoot conference that they just had, and that's where he came forward and finally said, "Hey, there's more to this story. Something happened to us," and that's where he broke the story. And the other guys were saying, "Whoa, wait a minute." They didn't want to come forward at first, but it looks like they are coming forward, and there's probably still more to the story, but they're both going to have all three of them are going to have their own statements as soon as they write everything down as to what happened and all that stuff. Right. And Adam and John are saying that these are demons. Matthew doesn't agree with them, so they're going to agree to disagree. But these guys said that they were 3.5 to 3 feet tall, and they had red glowing eyes. So that's what they were calling them, demons. And he said that they saw more after Matt went to bed, so we'll find out later on.
And the red glowing eyes seem to be
red glowing eyes.
What everybody, when they see a Bigfoot and the Bigfoot becomes angry, the red glowing eyes come apparent, and you can see it.
Go back to that picture, the one that was on there. And this is the one where it's showing it coming out of the portal.
Right.
Okay. When I was reading the story, there was like a couple of things. Okay. First, they used Jesus' name, and they didn't have the flashlight. Right. They were yelling for Matthew Johnson, and they were using Jesus' name, and it was driving those things back in without the flashlight. Okay. Then Matt Johnson came, and he was using the flashlight, and it
closed it.
And it closed it. Right. And then he went to sleep, okay? And then in what he said was they mind speak with him.
Okay, telepathically?
Yeah, and then when he was asleep, they mind spoke, and they explained what was going on, that those two were the guardians, and that any light makes those things disappear, and also for the portal to close, right? And the portal,
you can only see the portal at night.
right? It won't open in the day. Like, why not? Can it open in the day? See, I mean, there's just little things that make me think, like, if it was, it's weird that it only happens in the night, and it's weird that light drives them away.
It shouldn't matter.
Right,
If the
it
portal
shouldn't matter.
opens.
Portal is a portal.
It's going to open no matter what. If the circumstances
Right.
are right, you know.
And then this drawing right here, like, if you go to the Bigfoot that we have on your, you know, that the game camera took,
right.
you know, and when you get to the zoomed in one, look at the hand on that one, and then look at the hand on the one that's in that game camera. I mean, that was the first thing I saw, was how big that hand is and how it's drawn is exactly almost identical to the hand in that picture. And we'll have to bring that up one day and you know, show that the comparison.
Okay.
'Cause that's what I saw right there.
Right. But this is just a
You know.
you know, somebody drew this, right?
Right. But I mean, it's close. The one I saw didn't have the pointed head, and it had more hair, you know, from its nose down, and it was jet black, but it had all the muscular features that one does. I mean, in proportion, just like that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good drawing, really. And it's weird, daylight, flashlight,
Right.
shuts a portal down like that. Like,
well, yeah.
is that why we only see them at night? But we see them in day or hear of them in the day too.
They're yelling at us.
Well, our friend Joe Walls, he saw one during the day at 11:30 in the morning, and he said the eyes were glowing red on that one.
Yeah, 6 feet in front of him too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the glowing
It's
red
real cool.
eyes seem to be what everybody is common.
Right.
As a common thing. You know,
He
you
said
can.
it could have reached out and grabbed him,
Yeah.
but it didn't.
Well, okay.
Yeah, interesting.
And the picture we have up right now, for those people who want to know, this is Matthew Johnson and his son, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, that's Grady.
Okay.
He said that everybody saw it.
Well,
And supposedly, both of those two, even the son, has had the Bigfoot mind speak to him. His son also has had the Bigfoot's mind speak in his mind.
Yeah, that's where he said that they were descendants of Cain.
Right. Uh-huh.
now, what religion talk about that?
Cain?
The Mormons,
No.
right? Well, no, isn't Bigfoot, right?
No.
You sure?
Yeah. I don't know what is the one. I think it's the Watchers or something like that. It has like a Bigfoot in it.
No, but I think the Mormons say that that's the descendants of Cain. The
Oh,
Bigfoot.
yeah.
The Bigfoots.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So-
It's
All right, the
interesting.
last
that,
picture.
Okay.
That's interesting.
From Survivor Man. They had a guest on, and it was Scott Carpenter. And Emerald's going to love this one. And this was on Wednesday and then Friday. And Scott Carpenter's been out in the field for many years, and he's seen things and heard things that he can't explain. And he says with all the sightings that are happening now, he's noticed that people are saying that they are mimicking angelic qualities from the Bible. And they're saying that these creatures are fallen angels that came down to mate with women and create the Nephilim.
Okay.
And he says it in the Bible. He says in the book of Genesis that there were and are giants on the earth. So it was pretty weird to see that on the Survivor, and Les Stroud took no position.
Oh,
on
so
anything.
okay, wait. So they actually said that on the
They
episode.
said it on Survivor Man. Yeah, about 8 minutes into the episode.
Whoa.
And he says that he's been setting up sticks and rocks. He's been placing rocks out there, and everything's been moved. And he'll set up sticks in the shape of a cross. He'll tie them together with the electrical tape.
Uh-huh.
And he'll come back, and the cross will be taken apart and everything put upside down.
Ooh. That's
So
evil.
he's gonna
That's
continue
evil.
doing that.
It's only evil if you see it as evil.
Well, I mean, we all know, well, for those who know, that if you get it crossed and if you turn it upside down or hang it upside down, that means the opposite of good is evil.
Right. Yeah,
That's what they're trying to, that's what, in movies is what I see. Like The Exorcist, the cross is upside down. Oh.
You know what's interesting is, like, this is all coming out like right now, and a lot of the Bigfoot people, that been reading stories and stuff, they don't know about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, people don't talk about it because it'll make you, they'll think
Go
you're crazy, or something.
Yeah.
But only that this has been known. We've interviewed lots of people that talk about this, and then they don't want their name used, and they'll tell us, if you repeat this,
I'm going to
I don't
deny
want to
it.
be crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to totally deny it.
But we've been hearing these stories
For a long time
of
now.
these paranormal type red eyes glowing and disappearing, and I mean from really close friends too. And it's not something that just happened. It has been happening.
Right, and we've been talking about it for the longest time. I am just glad that they are coming out now and bringing out what's really going on with those guys out in the field and other Bigfoot investigators and paranormal investigators in general, and that's great. That's awesome. But I want to hear more, so don't be
going
afraid.
Up there so often, we probably have been abducted and don't even know it.
Don't even know it. Yeah.
My wife told me that, like you've been probed. I'm like, what? And you didn't even know it.
Who knows?
Well, like
who freaking
in
knows?
Oregon, when we were up there, and they saw a Bigfoot and a UFO in the same day, right?
Who was that?
Our family. We were deer hunting, but our tent disappeared.
Right.
Well, we were in it.
Right.
And when we woke up, we had the floor of the tent.
Now, your wife was in that tent.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
So your wife was in that tent, and you guys were in a tent. And when you guys woke up the next morning, the tent was gone, but the ground floor of the tent was still there.
Right.
So therefore, something cut the tent off.
We don't know. I mean, all we know is like you went to sleep in a tent, and when you woke up, the floor and the stakes and everything in the tent was there, but all the rest of the tent was gone.
Now, was there a zipper that zipped around the bottom of that tent? Okay, so did you analyze the bottom floor of the tent? Was it like cut with precision, like a laser, or was it ripped?
Like ripped.
What the hell?
Yeah.
It was
Heavy
weird.
sleepers.
It was weird, and it was like 3:30 in the morning when I woke up, and I was looking at the stars, thinking, "Wow, man, it's a beautiful night." And it had clouds and stuff, and it was kind of misting. And I'm like, "Boy, it's beautiful." And then I thought, "Wait a minute, we were in a tent, and it was like sprinkling." And I woke my wife up. I'm like, hey, and we went and climbed in the parents' tent and went to sleep. And we were between two other tents. So our tent in the middle disappeared. Their tents didn't.
Now, I would say he'd be smoking something, but his wife, it happened to him and his wife. So his wife was there.
She's saying,
I don't
said
know.
We got probed.
So, I don't know what happened there. Obviously, the rest of the people that were with you at the campsite could probably verify this because they were there with you.
Well, we went we spent 2 hours looking for the tent. And there was trees. I mean, we're up in the hills. There's trees all around, right? And bushes. The tent, the first thing we thought was, it blew off, right? Yeah, and it ripped apart and blew off. So then if that happened, it would be in the trees somewhere.
Right.
It wasn't in the trees anywhere, and actually it wasn't windy.
Right.
So
why wasn't anything else disrupted? Like, your
and everything
your camping
else,
equipment, food, and utensils, and all the stuff that you leave out when you're camping. Why wasn't it all blown away?
Right, exactly. But then after we decided we couldn't find the tent and no explanation, that's when we went on with our deer hunt. Then, somebody saw a Bigfoot face to face with it, and then the other one was a UFO. That we left, and we were going to spend 4 days after the UFO. I mean, first the tent, then the Bigfoot, then the UFO, then everybody was going home, and we went home.
we're done.
Yeah.
Sissy.
And the only other time that I ever had an experience that could even rival that was the time that we got snowed out and rained out on Memorial Day week.
Right. And the infamous weekend with the windows.
That's the only other time that had a weekend like that.
Right.
We thought nothing happened that weekend.
Yeah, we thought. Yeah.
Wow, that was an awesome weekend.
Yeah,
I just wish I could have been outside when David walked out that morning.
Me too.
Just so whatever sent off those motion detectors of mine. There was 2 of them.
Yeah.
There was 2 of them.
That means one on each side of the camp.
One in the back, and one in north and south side. And they went off right about the same time. That's crazy, guys. Ah, awesome. Well, it's almost time to go back too, guys.
Yeah, it is.
You ready, Danny?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I'm ready too. All right, Danny. Is that it?
That's it. There's one more thing. Our friend, Paranormal Central, Daryl, who's called in a couple times, and you talked to him once about the Super Bowl, and then he just moved to with his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they started some stuff back there. He lost his niece about a couple hours ago.
Ooh.
She's 9 years old, and it'll be on Channel 26 tonight if you live here locally. She's been battling a brain tumor for a little over a year, and she finally lost that battle today.
Oh, that sucks.
So sending out our condolences to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I send my condolences.
Absolutely. So, all right, Danny. Thank you, man, and we'll talk to you next week. Okay. All right. Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, that was Danny.
Oh, he's already
gone. So, okay, now, like I said, we're just going to move right into it. We got so much to talk about tonight. And I want to say hi to my cuz in Vegas, John. What's up, S.A.? He's probably cracking up right now. Yeah, I didn't know John was watching, and I guess he's on the chat from Vegas. And right on, brother. So, all right, go get Caesar for me.
So all of a sudden, mine quit.
What?
All of a sudden, it quit. Because everybody else's quit. And I got chat, but just no video.
Now, I might have gone when I went in and out. Did I?
I'm reloading the page. I'll find out right now.
Hold on, let me see if it says still streaming.
As long as we still have Art Bell and stuff. Yeah,
right.
I mean, we're all right.
All right, let me make sure.
It's going.
Is it going?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and call Alex Chinetti. Alex Chinetti has been seen on TV, on National Geographic, big part of, I don't want to say big part of Ancient Aliens, but he's done a lot of UFO stuff as well. And we are going to talk about the Roswell slides that just came out with a couple of years or a year ago, and they're going to basically talk about them in a special news conference in Mexico on May the 5th. So happens Cinco de Mayo in Mexico. Did they plan that or what? So, okay, we're going to get Alex on the phone here pretty quick.
Yeah, we actually, this will be like the third time we've had Alex.
We had Alex in here when I showed him a couple of pictures of the ruins, and he said, "What the hell is those doing in Fresno? I'm coming." And Alex came from L.A., and we showed him the ruins of Fresno. And we talked to him once before on the phone again, and now we're going to get him on and talk about the slides of the Roswell slides. Apparently somebody found some slides in an attic, I think it's what it was, in a box. And these were taken supposedly of the aliens. What? What's the matter? Not answering?
Alex, are you watching? Answer the phone.
Yeah, I should be calling right now. Those are the two phone numbers he gave me. So keep trying. And so hopefully we'll get Alex here pretty quick. And we'll go ahead and get him. He gave me two phone numbers. One the landline, and the other one's the cell phone as a backup. So
he's been all over.
Oh,
I've been following him
lately. Yeah, that guy goes all over the world.
He was in New York just recently
on a conference. I think it was a conference of some type. Okay, I think Emerald got him. So we're gonna go and talk to him right now. Hold on, should put him on. Okay. And here we go. Alex, are you there? Alex?
Hello?
Alex?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes. I hear you. Okay?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I thought you were going to call me to the landline.
She did, but it didn't answer.
Oh, no, I didn't hear it.
Didn't hear it? Huh.
No. You want to call again? I don't know.
No, we're okay here. You sound okay. I'll just turn you up. No problem.
Yeah?
Are you okay?
Good.
Yeah. Are you all right? To talk?
Yes,
okay.
I am hearing you well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then we'll just stay here. No problem.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Yeah,
Alex, let me...
if you're hearing me well, it's fine. Yes.
No, we got you. We're okay. So, all right, Alex. So thank you for coming on tonight. Appreciate it.
Yes, and I was listening to the program, and it's funny when you're talking about the Bigfoot photo and Predator. Predator was the visual special effects were created by Joel Hynek, he created the Predator, and that effect he gets invisible. And he's the son of Dr. Just Heinrich, who was my mentor and friend.
Oh.
And I think he has some influence from his father with aliens and creatures.
Oh, so that's so your buddy, right? So your buddy was the guy who came up with the Predator and the Invisible and all that. So, and they got that, and they got that idea.
No, he created effects, and he was Oscar nominated for that movie.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. He was the director.
No, he was the special effects.
Special effects guy. Okay. You know what?
The effects of the invisibility of the Predator.
Yeah. You know what?
All the visual effects. And when he gets transparent, when he gets invisible, it was what his effects.
Right. You know what? You know what, Alex? For some reason you're going in and out. I'm gonna pull you down on the mixer. Do me a favor, and Emerald is going to get on the phone and tell her your landline number again, so that way I want to make sure I wrote it down right, and then we're gonna call you on the landline. Okay. Okay. Hold on. All right. Go ahead, because yeah, he's going in and out, and with Alex's accent, you guys won't even understand him. Yeah. So we're gonna make sure we get this settled up. So, but yeah, Alex, he's been around. He been around. I mean, he knows everybody in the UFO business, and he goes out to South America to the ruins all the time. He's actually did a couple of episodes of Ancient Aliens and definitely some UFO stuff. So a lot of people know who he is, and there's this picture right now. So so hopefully we'll get him back on. Matter of fact, Emerald right now is calling him up. Did I get the right number? Or was no, see, I goofed up. It was my fault. Shoot me. So okay, Emerald's gonna call him. So yeah. So anyways, after we talked with Alex, we're gonna have somebody come on, and we're gonna talk about they're pretty much like ley lines in America. Okay, here we go. All right, Alex, you there?
Yes.
All right. Better, a lot better.
Way better.
Way better. So, okay, tell everybody about you, Alex. What what is your main love? I know you love the paranormal, but you basically do everything, man.
Yes, I know. I have been man of all seasons and many hats, but ufology was a big part of my life. Still, researching the extraterrestrial lore is part of my passion, but also I research lost civilizations, archaeology, and for many years I was a field researcher in both things.
Okay.
Researching the past and researching the future through ufology, and I was also producing documentaries as a journalist. I am a journalist. I produce news. I working for the Spanish news for networks as Univision, Estrella in the last years, but I always do scientific journalism, and I cover these two passions to research mysteries, mysteries of the universe.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about these Roswell slides. I heard about them obviously just like everybody else on the internet. Tell me about these slides. Who found them? Where were they found at? And how long have they been out?
Okay, and originally I didn't want really to involve with this, as I had been a long-term friend and colleague of Jaime Maussan, who is behind this big event, Cinco de Mayo, the Independence Day of Mexico. And yeah, but also Independence Day smoking. I seen the movie, and it's also is going to happen 20 years of the nefarious and alien autopsy, the Roswell autopsy of the Santilli film, who was really affect the ufology. And I start to see, when I start to see all this circus, and I said, whoa, what a moment. We have already a lot of damage from that snowball of the autopsy of the Ray Santilli. Ray Santilli was a video music producer, British, who created this hoax. This 20 years ago was 5 of May 1995, when he launched to the world this mocking autopsy autopsy showing the dissection of an alien on the table and related to Roswell, saying he gets through a camera, American camera guy, this lost footage from the Roswell crash, no?
Right.
And everybody bought that, and there was a big controversy after Fox produced this big high-writing program who was produced by my friend in that time, Bob Kiviat, who also was famous by creating this kind of suspense as the Al Capone balls in that time. But still, we have the same hype as 20 years ago. And I said, wait a moment, as I am media, I am a researcher, it's time to evaluate really who is behind these things. And I found a person who is producing a documentary, is using this as launching his documentary called ExtraTerrestrial. And I said, again, we have media people behind this event.
Okay.
And also is masked.
So what? So
logical lore.
So
but the story of the slides, yeah. Well, this come out years ago. The kind of the slides were discovered in 1998 when these people were kind of cleaning a house in Arizona from a couple. We don't know exactly if the last name is Ray or Blair. There are some contradictions in the information, the original information, but this couple already is dead. They are dead for a long time, but the people cleaning the house, it looks like they don't reveal exactly what happened with that house, but they found a box with 500 slides. In these slides from the 40s, made what you remember in that 40s, 50s was the system called Ektachrome, who was better than the Kodachrome. And they used to be kind of board frame, it's mounted board frame with cardboard type. And these slides show the life of this couple. The name is Hilda. Hilda is supposed to be the original photographer of this slide, showing a picture of people from that time, from the 40s. And the slides you could see Clark Gable, Bing Crosby, and she was a professional from Minnesota originally, and the husband was a geologist, and they were kind of well known. I didn't research personally. I didn't want to really to waste too much time with this, but and in the box, kind of sticker to the cover of the box was an envelope, and in the envelope were two slides, and the slides show a kind of a bin in a kind of in a table, and covered with the blanket. According to Maussan, they said his head is separate from the thorax, and it looks like he's wounded. Some part of his limbs are affected, and he's laying in a kind of a blanket, a military blanket. He's in a kind of in a crystal case. Also, it's a legend below him. Some Roswell researcher, who his name is Rudiak, make an interpretation as he did the same with the Roswell photos on the famous telegram from 1947. He make a reverse kind of optical analysis, and also he's analyzing that. But the photos are in circulation. Some researchers I've seen in Europe, they took it, they make a blow up. It's not very clear, as the slides are going to release in its originality and in its condition, the original condition in the event of the May 5th in a couple of days. Mm-hmm. But again, these two slides, they come out, they were discovered in 98. A friend of this video journalist, and the name of this guy, his name is Adam Dew. And Adam Dew is supposed to be a sport journalist, video journalist from Arizona, who found that. looks like in 2000, not too long ago, in 2013, he gave it the slides to another Roswell researcher who was connected with Don Schmidt and Tom Carey. We know Don Schmidt is a kind of famous researcher with Kevin Randall. For many years, they wrote 2 books on the Roswell case. And in the last year, Schmidt, he's kind of partnering with an anthropologist, Tom Carey is the name, and also they wrote a book together. And finally the slides, they don't supposed to be revealed. They're supposed to be more kind of be in a low-key condition and don't kind of show to the public, no?
Okay.
But in this event, another researcher, what was his name? Let me remember. He have any?
So right now, I have one of the slides up on the screen. That's the one with the alien laying down on the table. Because the 2 you're talking about is the one that I have posted right now.
Yes, yeah, that is the one was took from a frame of this film.
Okay.
The film is called Ektachrome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a kind of, for me, it's a kind of a documentary how this guy found the slides, and in between these 400 slides, he found 2 ones who are strange, and he started to show again. And the interpretation is coincidental with the time of Roswell. His previous analysis, also from these 2 researchers, from Schmidt and Carey, they said it's from 1947. Of between 1947 and 1950, with Kodak used this type of Ektachrome. And this couple, all this kind of sequence of the slideshow, this was the American life of that period, and as they start to associate, as they were in Arizona, close to Roswell, close to New Mexico, Eisenhower supposed to be one of the persons who saw the crash, the debris of the Roswell case. In that time, they're trying to put the things together. But I think it's not really kind of evidence, but this kind of coincidental analogies, no?
Right. So what you're saying that with the conference that's going to happen on Cinco de Mayo, it just so happens that it's going to coincide with the release of the documentary and other stuff as well, then, like promotion.
Right. It's a kind of, as I was telling you, this filmmaker contacted Maussan, and Maussan already have the relation with Schmidt and Carey, and they converse together to reveal these slides and the analysis they do around these ones in the Cinco de Mayo, and they are going to invite other people related to the Roswell lore and people who are connected with ufology. As for example, they are going to invite the 2 researchers I mentioned. They are going to show a video about a witness, an 80 years old military who said he was in the base in Roswell, and when he saw the photos, he recognized they were identical to the creatures he saw. And also they're trying to do a kind of a 3-dimensional reconstruction of that photo. And the dilemma is 2 things. Is some people said this is really kind of a puppet again. We're back to the Roswell autopsy.
Right.
Other skeptic people said it's a kind of a mummy, and they make a comparison between the Egyptian case mummy display in a museum and this photo, and it's coincidence. Many mummies, they have a big head, including the Egyptian. They have these macrocephalous creatures and a small body, no? as mummies from the Inca period, mummies from the Chinchorro, the Chilean desert, and but the different thing is it is in a kind of looks like more in a case, and it's that legend there, that picture, but that picture's in 1950. The interpretation could Rudy accept that is a kind of they said was this is a corpse found in a certain place, but
so
you cannot see the letter's very clear.
Okay, so with all this going on in a couple days, you're thinking, what are these for real or they're not for real? I mean, where are you going with this?
No, my opinion is I think this guy Adam Yu is fabricating the slides to build a mock documentary which is in fashion right now. And he found the correct propitiatory victims in Smith and Kerry and also in Maussan, but also in the same way they found a way to reopen and support their research with a kind of a new good Tribune as a center of attraction. And it's always Roswell is a subject to track attention, as we didn't have, since the autopsy mock fraud of 20 years ago, we didn't have any visual elements. And we know the government is holding evidence, and I did also, well, I could comment my own research on Roswell and my discoveries, and regarding to parallel research I did about the lost footage, and it's a lot of stuff, and it's a lot of kind of missing kind of connecting dots. That is the reason this case creates a lot of attention, but still we want to find maybe the militaries in that time, they left some parts behind. Right. It's hard to believe also in that time, Jesse Marcel, they couldn't hold one of the metallic pieces, and why we couldn't find more debris in the fields. I remember, well, Schmidt did some expeditions to find also with Maussan years ago to find elements. Mm-hmm. But I think everything is kind of is gone. It's under many keys still in Ray Patterson. Unfortunately, we cannot expose that. But all in this time, ufology is still in very bad shape. But we give more importance to the mediatic thing, to the hype. We give importance to kind of lousy shows. For example, Hangar One in television, who talk about MUFON, but MUFON is not exposing all the great cases they have, and they talk about the Men in Black instead to go so many physical evidence cases we have in 50 years of MUFON was created by Walt Andrews, an old friend of mine who passed away, no? And it's totally different thing. They are not more prestigious, serious research any moment. As I was chatting today on the Facebook, if Dr. Heine back to life, he went back to his grave and turn, but we don't really face with a really good methodology.
Well,
I think and in this case, instead to do a kind of conference to bring researchers and media analysts and visual analysts, it's a commercial event.
Right.
It's going to be in the National Auditorium, but the prices to access is the price of the Broadway ticket. And also, it's going to be online. You could really see it online with your contribution, of course.
Right.
It's an open thing. But the part of that is, I'm not kind of criticizing that, but also, research costs money. But, for example, I don't think nobody really is doing any research in the serious way. And Roswell had many contradictions, and still we are trying to recuperate from the mediatic wounds we have from the Santilli Roswell autopsy from 1995. And in the second part of the autopsy is always, these 2 frames kind of missing. We have a really 2 frames. He always would, and that when I start to see, we have 2 slides. That kind of reopened my wounds from that time. So again with that thing, with the 2 missing frames, and he never, until he promised he was going to provide it to an objective committee to evaluate these things, and he never, of course, he never presented, but he never have it.
Right.
And I never have it. It was an American cameraman, military, who said he have it. Bob Kiviat said that 15 years ago too. Yes, I have it, but this cameraman never provide with the real unsprint. It was 16 millimeters at that time, but they never provide. And I want to see what happened. May 5th, if we have an objective committee, not only one expert. You have to have several experts to analyze this.
Right.
Well, not only one they choose.
It's
and
too
we
blurry.
don't know the name. It's supposed to be a former
it's from a video.
product from Rochester.
These are slides from a
but
video.
we'll have-
Now, the slides that we're looking at right now are just snapshots of a video, right?
No, the snapshot of the video, the trailer of this documentary.
Okay,
I don't know
okay,
if the documentary is finished or not.
Right.
But
okay, so
the snapshots are the slides, right?
Okay.
There are 2 slides. There are 2 identical slides.
Now the slide.
The difference between the first and the second is a lady, or a person behind the glass, as you could see the glass, and she looks like in a better version I saw, more clear. You could see she having a skirt. It looks like, I don't know if it is Hilda Ray or not.
On the right, you can see her.
It's one person. That is the only difference. It's a sequence of 3 slides, 10, 11, and 12. But 11 is missing, and they have only the 10 and 12.
But usually film is way more clear if it's in a slide. You know what I mean? Like a lot more clear, because usually on a slide you blow it up. It's just a little thing, and to make a picture you blow it up bigger. Or even if you're using it as a slide projector, then you're gonna make it even bigger, and that's too blurry. No.
It's the original. It looks like it's not too blurry. They're going to show a better version. That was took from people from the trailer is online, as I explained before.
Okay.
But the funny thing is the owner of the slides is he just released a trailer, a tissue of his documentary showing the slide photos in the streets of Chicago. And it's so secret why they're doing this kind of thing. This is totally a marketing campaign.
Yeah.
And that, I think, they are digging their grave very fast. Yeah.
Wow.
I agree.
Wow. Okay, right on. Okay, so basically you think that these slides are nothing, they're just using to promote their documentary, and that's it?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. We have
I guess yeah, I was going to say we just have
the researchers, Schmidt and Carey. They pronounce it could be related to Roswell, but we don't have totally kind of that security.
Right. So we'll just have to wait until after the May 5th conference and see what happens, and see how everybody starts talking, because as soon as that ends on May the 5th, everybody's going to get on internet and pretty much give their 2 cents.
No,
so.
I wish they could really find the slides. I researched Roswell for many years, and I researched, for example, for Mammoth in New Jersey, and the papers of Leonard Stringfield, who was a great ufologist from the classic period. He passed away, but he wrote several books on crash retrievals. He was the expert in the 70s, 80s on the crash retrievals, and in one of his papers, they found, and I wrote a research of Fort Mammoth, and Fort Mammoth was a very advanced military structure fort, who have the communications operation corps, the communication corps, the radio corps, from the First World War to the Second World War, And in 1950s, they show this film showing a crash disc in the desert, and also a second part they show the people were doing a kind of a dissection of these humanoids on the table. Very similar to the Santilli video, no? To the autopsy. And this is, I couldn't find any, for many years I was looking for veterans of the Second World War and of the Korea War time, where they were in the fort in 1950s. But I couldn't find any of the witnesses. I couldn't have access to the papers of Stringfield, and Stringfield, unfortunately, he died. But other contemporary researchers, they couldn't give me more things. But they were soldiers who were training, and they saw this film. One is called Mr. T, but I never couldn't find the real name of Mr. T in the paper of Stringfield, but it was anonymous source. And with Roswell, we have all this kind of anonymous source, and always kind of the rumor, yeah, somebody saw the humanoids, and finally we never found a direct witness who really, with many affidavits, could really testify or cross-examination through two similar witnesses with credibility. That is a problem. Roswell is a great case, it's still in debate, and we found more coming. Instead to come good elements, come disinformation elements, and it's through the visual now,
right?
Through the visual media. In this case, this missing the slides.
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty much done with Area 51. I mean, not Area 51. The Roswell, crash. I'm pretty much.
That is the other subject too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much done with it. I want to know what happened recently. Is there any new type of any type of new sightings, abductions within the past week, with the past couple of weeks? That's what I want to know, and I'm pretty sure that's what America wants to know. And that's basically where I stand. When I heard Roswell slides, I said, "Really, again?"
Yeah, no, that was my reaction, and I said, for example, I have friendship with Jaime, with Maussan, and his manager for years. I produced and Soul Mysteries program about the Mexican wave also 20 years ago, 94, 95. I brought, for example, Maussan to the public, the American media, when I produced that program on the great activity we have in Mexico after that eclipse of 1991. And I researched the Mexican UFO activity for during 10 years almost, and I was going and I interact. And I think it was so great information at that time, and he was a good instrument also for diffusion of that. He had been continuing doing that, but that is kind of, you feel kind of frustrated. And I tried to be invited, but didn't invite me to the event to be kind of a witness
right
there.
Well, they didn't want you screaming at them and telling them fake.
I think that, yeah.
Yeah, so like
it's always the same talking heads, kind of.
Yep.
They invite Richard Dolan, but Dolan is kind of talking about history, and they don't know exactly. Let's see what his comments, but. I wish we found a kind of objective observers and not the same kind of talking head we saw in the TV shows.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So like now, what are you working on right now? Because I know you're on top of it. I've been following you on Facebook, and you've been getting around.
Now, what about these volcanoes that are going off and UFO sightings?
Oh yeah, no, the volcanoes is great. The Chilean one. My friend Rodrigo Fuensalida, we work together in a radio program. He's in Chile. He's a researcher and MUFON member, and they found that video on the UFO was not a helicopter. Finally,
I didn't think it was.
But the volcanoes are erupting everywhere, right? We wanted to have a very funny year, this with a lot of things, and I researched volcano and UFOs. In the past year, several years ago in Ecuador, we have a great footage of the volcanoes in Ecuador, we have in Costa Rica, with activity, and mostly the Popocatépetl. Wow, you remind me. I was trying to go to the Popocatépetl. I remember. Yeah, you want to interview me, Jeffrey, about that?
I remember that.
I found a witness who saw humanoids kind of jumping and climbing at great speed. There were high kind of figures who left a big track on the snow. But that happened in the 90s. But in the news they put it as happened recently. But we have the compilation of the UFOs coming from the crater of the volcano, he never erupted, which is a constant fumarolas and constant smoking.
Okay. Well, let's talk.
We have very good videos talking about it's a possible base inside of that volcano in Mexico City.
Yeah. Now let's talk about that. Now there has been a lot of sightings when volcanoes do erupt. A lot of people say that there is another civilization inside Earth, but you think possibly more in the mountain itself of the volcano.
Yes, I was trying to do a travel. I was kind of getting cabin fever for my field research and going a few months ago, and I talked with that was in November, with one of the witness of this being. He have a company who bring tourists, sport, adventure climbers, and they said, unfortunately, the government doesn't let to go close to the entrance, the mouth of the Popocatépetl volcano. But I was ready. I said, I want to review this case and go to go close and bring the camera and put and do the research. And also, I was trying to bring also the system, the Douglas Trumbull system called UFO Talk. Douglas Trumbull, who is a great special effect master, who designed the effects of 2001, Space Odyssey, Star Trek, and Brainstorm, and Blade Runner, and others. He created this system with connecting very advanced digital lenses, cameras, optical lenses with digital cameras, and a spectroscope, and said, let's test the machine in Mexico. Was or bring it to some hot spots, but finally I didn't get support from the mentioned researcher there in Mexico. But this was a good opportunity to good data, to put a steady camera there. We have a steady camera, the geological system from the government, also Televisa, the main network of Mexico. They have one. That is the reason we have this footage of the objects coming in and out. But I tried to do that project, but with Douglas, but unfortunately we didn't get the financing to move the system. But it's a little heavy, and that is it. But that I think that Mexico Valley, the Central Valley of Mexico, in the last 20 years have so many great cases, so much activity, and unfortunately. The local researchers, they don't have the elements as they should to register all. And I research cases what you will kind of couldn't believe, objects landing and then in the landing track of the international Benito Juarez Airport, and nobody filmed it, and they were almost landed there. And when the radar is detecting all the time. So much activity.
Now, why do you think so much sightings in Mexico?
I think it's connected to the volcano activity. One.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's a relation. It's a geological relation. Yes.
Okay.
I always was kind of analyzing that, and I don't have it's the telluric relation. I don't have another kind of explanation. It was a landing of an object in front of the police. A flying disc in a sport field. That is in the year 2000 or 2001, and I couldn't back to research the sites, but I didn't see the reports from Mount uncovered that thing, but that is an amazing case in the middle of one of the bigger cities in the world with 30 million inhabitants. Was a landing in the middle of the city. The same with the Metepec case, a case I studied for 7 years with this object, kind of 45 minutes from Mexico City. In this town, they landed in a cornfield, and the housewife recorded in video this sighting. And this case is more important than these two stupid slides from
right.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the contradiction of life in this time. That is I call the new ufology. Is buffology.
Buffology. Now, well, I just, is it also maybe that you say the volcanoes are a big, is one of the reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mexico, the smog is really bad, obviously.
Yes. The contamination.
Yeah. So
in the last 30, 40 years. Yes.
Oh yeah. So why are they landing in South America? Well, like in Mexico, for example, and not here in the States, or are they landing here in the States, and then our government is coming in and shutting our people up?
We were debating this with another colleagues from Argentina, and a few nights they interviewed for a couple radios in Spain and also Argentina. So why we don't have the typical close encounter of the third kind from the 70s and 80s, with the truck drivers drivers go in the road, and they saw this kind of creature next to the road, and the truck start to have effects, electromagnetic effects. They enter a fog. They have missing time, and there were so many cases when I start to research in the late 70s. We have so many extended waves, flaps, 77, 78, 1980, 82. They were, and then we couldn't explain. And the people talk. It was totally different. They were conscious. It was different of the abduction cases where the people are kind of traveling or getting kidnapped, but when they are sleeping, these people were conscious, and they were the road and the landing. People saw the object landing, and leaving traces. I saw many traces on burn thing, and they have effects in the cars. They have effect in the radars. They have effect, and that is not happening. Why is not happening more? Right? It's a good question. I think the intelligence behind the objects, they don't want to reveal too much, as they know we have more technology. We have phones. That is coincident with activity. They use the night to appear. So this is part of the elusive rectorial intelligence behind. I think it's that. Okay. But I don't know. We cannot use the logic.
Right.
With this, we cannot really sometimes apply the scientific methodology when it says we don't have clues for that. It's
right.
True.
Right.
I think we have once in a while some landing, but it's not so clear. I remember if you read the flaps in 1978 in Pennsylvania, for example, or the flaps you have in Argentina 78, or in Spain of the same year, where were so many cases, the people have this interaction with humanoids, no? Pascagoula case, for example, the Travis Walton case, other classic cases. Every country having that type, but now we don't have that type. It's true. Well,
wow.
What happened?
What's happening? All right. Well, hey, you know what? We got about 5 minutes left with you, Alex. So, do you think then these creatures and these UFOs are not from here? A lot of people seem to think that aliens are demons and fallen angels, and they're the evil ones. With the high technology, where do you come as saying that these are from another galaxy, another planet somewhere out there, or do you think that they're from here?
Oh, that is a good question, and I had been meditating in that question in the last 30 years too. But when I start to research, also fall to my hands one book wrote by these evangelic authors. What they were putting in doubt, all the ufology was kind of tricksters from outer space, but these outer space were not really ETs, but they were demons masking, kind of camouflaging as extraterrestrials, and that is the reason we didn't have too much clue. Sometimes I kind of I get to that conclusion with so many deceptions reviewing my field researcher life, and I say, well, ufology should be exorcists instead of being,
right,
researchers.
Well, you know, Alex,
to challenge the phenomenon, no more when you analyze the abduction phenomenon, no. But I think it's totally independent thing. I think is our kind of religious interpretation. But as you said in the program, now it's in fashion, and the religious debate is more clear. But this type of reflection, for example, John Keel, who was a great researcher, and you could see in the Mothman Prophecies. I think the Mothman Prophecies is still a fantastic book, but he put in that book to challenge the establishment of the extraterrestrial, the HET theory, and to see this is we have something more dark in this relation of UFO sightings, creatures, Mothmans, and being in one area and with casualties, losing life, and this thing. And he wrote about the Men in Black in that time. All this kind of obscure thing,
right.
But it's still there, no? Of course, it's still there. But I think we have two levels. We have some UFO phenomena who come from outer space, and they have more logic behavior, and we have other sightings who could be natural phenomena as we interpret as extraterrestrial when it's not. So these lights, these Marful lights, these Hesdalen lights in Norwegian regions and in the north, and what looks like they have intelligence behind these lights. That is the question, and it looks like they come from the interior of the earth. They dissolve, they materialize in front of a mountain and get inside or outside, or inside of a bedroom, for example. Yeah, and sometimes are light, sometimes are advanced probes, objects, metallic objects, and detected by the radars. But there's something there. As Carl Jung said, something is out there.
Right.
You think that they...
Before Scully and Mulder was Carl Jung.
you think maybe they might be... Are they like good and here to help us, or do you think maybe there's some kind of like lower agenda, like maybe
No, the legend of the contact is still, we don't have really any evidence. The contact is still subjective thing, and the agenda of the abductions, who looks like also we don't have, also the debate I'm having in the radio few days ago is we don't have the abduction phenomena. When abduction phenomena was always an American phenomenon, we didn't have really many cases in Europe, in Asia, or in South America.
Really?
But we have so much. Yes, really. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
what about that
one
guy?
Why the abduction phenomena is that? Also, the cattle mutilation phenomena was more U.S. until in 2002 we have a big flap of thousands of cows in a national emergency in Argentina. Yeah, I tried there to do a documentary at that time, but the station were not interested in that time.
Right. So.
Yeah, but and all that information get lost, and that's it. But that happened. That is interesting to see the geopolitical condition in the phenomenon, no?
Interesting. I didn't realize that the abduction is more apparent here in the United States than in other countries. That's something I didn't know about. That's,
Well,
wow.
I know
Yes,
there's.
it's kind of 75% against 25% or more, 90 to 10% on the rest of the thing. Why?
Why?
The evangelics said, "Oh, maybe the territorial demons cover more U.S. than the rest of the.
Well, you know,
we have more chunk of land in Canada and U.S., but you don't find, for example, abduction phenomena in Canada."
Well, I read something. I read something recently. You know, where they like when they do the abduction. You know, they're after like the DNA, right? Or something like that, the egg or the seed or whatever. You know, to do the DNA. In the DNA, this is coming from a DNA scientist now. In the cells of people with more melatonin, they can't cut, even our DNA people can't cut the cells because the melatonin protects the cell, and they can't splice it and stuff like that. So the more lighter color people are the ones that have the non-protected cells, and they're easier to, you know, genetically modify, or whatever you want to say.
Wow. And with that, we are out of time, Alex. Dude,
Okay.
man. Now that was a subject as far as abduction goes that I didn't realize that, you know, the states here, we had more than other countries.
Man, we'll have to have you back.
Yeah,
Alex,
we're gonna have to have you back
that.
again. So we talk you back though.
Okay, we continue on Facebook.
All right, Alex. On Cinco de Mayo, when all this comes out in Mexico, if you hear anything, and I know you will, let me know if there's something breaking or anything like that. We'll get you back on next Sunday. Okay?
No, I'm very skeptical. I'm not very optimistic, but maybe I'm going to get drunk with many beers and cervezas.
Do you have a website you want to tell everybody or anything like that?
No, it's the people who want to contact me. I am on Facebook with my name, and that is.
Right on. Okay.
Okay, go find him, you guys.
All right.
Alex Giannetti.
Alex, thank you very much, and I will talk to you very
thanks
soon.
to you
Okay.
guys. Yeah.
All right. You take care, Alex. Thank you.
Bye, Alex.
Okay. See ya.
Good night.
See, that's something that I didn't know about, the abduction thing. I wish we would have, brought that up sooner, but we only have.
He's fun. I love that guy. I love him.
So okay, all right. Now we're gonna go ahead and just move right into it, guys. I tell you, we're gonna get a hold of Stace. She is has a website called Inter-Intelligence Communications, plural at the very end. Inter-Intelligence-Communications.com. And we're going to let her pretty much tell you what she does. And it's also about mapping the lines of hotspots in different locations of America and the world. So we're going to talk to her right now.
Like, I've researched a little of this stuff. This is deep. I'm going to tell you right now, this is deep stuff. Deep.
Hello, Stace.
Yes, hi there, Jeff.
Hi, Stace. How's it going? All right, we got you on. Awesome. Okay, I just told everybody about your website, Inter-Intelligence-Communications, plural on the communication.com, correct?
Yes, that's it.
All right. Well, let's tell everybody how I became known to Stace. Somebody who we're going to have after Stace, his name is Tom, brought me to your attention, and I said, man, you're right up our alley. So I'm glad you're here, and I want you to pretty much tell everybody who you are and what is your website all about and what you do.
Okay, well, I've been experiencing the paranormal all my life, but about 20 years ago, I started researching crop circles, and so that's really been the focus of my research for the last 2 decades. And when I created Inter-Intelligence Communications, it was to help share information about that and other things, UFOs and consciousness and just expanding consciousness. And it ends up that the name that I chose for the website, Inter-Intelligence Communications, really, I didn't know exactly the significance of it at the time, but over time it's really become clear that the crop circles themselves are a form of inter-intelligence communication, because the intelligence behind the crop circles, even though many of them are made by people, is another intelligence that I believe non-human.
All right, and that really blew me away because we were talking. I brought up, and actually you brought up the how do you pronounce that? Chular crop circle.
Yeah, the Chular crop circle, right?
And for all those who don't know what we're talking about, we talked about this a great deal, and it is the crop circle that happened in Chular, California, the NVIDIA.
Right. We actually drove by when they were doing that. You know that.
No, we didn't.
We were coming back from Felton, and it was like right in that time when they made that.
No way.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, talk about again. Well, I'm jumping the gun here. I shouldn't be jumping the gun. Talk about what your website. What basically, because you think that the crop circles wherever they appear are in line with each other, in line with other things that are paranormal, correct?
Well, yeah, and that all became apparent in 1995 with the original crop circle that was kind of my crop circle initiation. And I do write about that on my website. And what happened was I became somewhat familiar with crop circles just by picking up a book in the library early in 1995 when I was going to college at the time, and it was Colin Andrews' book, Circular Evidence. And so I'd never heard of crop circles, although I've been a UFO experiencer all my life and been, interested in paranormal all my life, but I'd never heard of crop circles. So learning about it at that time got me very interested. I wished for a crop circle one night when I was at a friend of a friend's house who was talking to me about modern crop circles that were starting to take on more of a pictogram look. And those, I wasn't quite sure if they were the original phenomenon like I had read about in Colin Andrews' book. So I privately wished for a crop circle. That was about 10:30 on Friday, the 16th of June, 1995, in Topeka, Kansas. And 6 days later, I was in Plevna, which is about 150 miles away, at my mother's house.
Wait, where were you? Where were you at?
Well, I was in Plevna, which is a little town in Kansas.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah. And my mom says, here's the headline on the Hutchinson News is, crop circles mar in the wheat field. So I was amazed. I didn't really make the connection then that I just wished for a crop circle the Friday before, and this was on a Thursday,
right,
that she found it in the newspaper. But I went to visit it, and I later found out that all three locations, Topeka, Plevna, where I was when I heard about it, and the crop circle, all happened on a straight line. And so when I plotted them on a map, and this was way before Google Maps. In fact, I think I read that Google maybe had, 100,000 users at the time. Maybe it was brand new in 1995. I was using a road atlas. So I could see that there was an alignment, and I didn't know how exact it was until I got into Google Maps, really not that long ago, several years ago, but, relatively recently, and I saw that it created a chip line, which was Topeka, Edmond, and Plevna. And you can actually put that visual up if you want.
And
see, there is.
Which?
Yeah, there's. If I can find it here, I'll let you know which one it is.
Okay.
But, okay, it's SP.chip line. So that would be the one that actually shows you the alignment. And then that became
describe.
I
was going to say, describe that picture for me because I have many pictures here, and I don't know how I.
Okay, it's really just I sent you a lot of lines.
I know.
Go, they're kind of a diagonal line.
Okay.
And that's called the tip line. What happens is that line.
The tip line, got it.
The first alignment actually shows up in a lot of the other alignments, including the Chular alignment that we're going to get to.
Okay. Huh? Oh, go.
So it was a form of communication, but the neat thing about it was that it was out of time order because where I was when I wished for the crop circle, and then the crop circle appeared, it appeared on a line that wasn't even there yet because I wasn't at my mother's house until the following Thursday. But the crop circle appeared that very night at about the same time that I had my wish. So I've got that all on my website. It's kind of hard to express it, but I've tried to write it out and make sense of it. So,
interesting. All right. So,
yeah, and basically for all the other alignments.
Cool. Okay, so what other pictures do you want me to put up now?
Okay, well, if you want to talk about Chular, I think that's a great idea because
All right.
I think a lot of people overlook Chular.
All right.
So if you want to go ahead and put up the Chular map glyph, which is the 3 white circles, or the 4 white circles that look like a backwards L, basically.
Got it.
Okay, so Chular is at the bend of that L.
Okay.
And where that appeared, it lines up with Pleiades Peak in Washington State, as well as Gray, Tennessee, which was the site of another crop circle, and a synchronicity that fits in with all the other synchronicities with the tip line, for instance. And it creates the Braille number sign, which was inherent in the Chular crop circle itself.
Now,
so it was put for a reason, but the people who put it there didn't realize what that reason was.
Now, did you realize, I don't know if you knew this or not, and you probably do, but I looked up the Chular location, and let me go ahead and pull that up right now. That happens to be right around the 36 degrees, 37 degree parallel. Type, as far as when, because all the stuff that's happened on the paranormal highway, excuse me, 37 degrees, 36 degrees. This lies right there with your line, which I find extremely interesting.
You think?
Yeah, that's interesting because it would link up Chular with Gray, Tennessee, and just continue going straight across there. Then, so those are both at the same latitude.
That's exactly correct. Now, if you have time, pull up what those other 2 white dots you have marked their latitudes and find out what degrees they are, because I bet you they're at 37, 36. Easy.
Yeah, and then the one that's on the short end, which makes up, the one that goes from Chular to Pleiades Peak in Washington State, they're on the same longitude line.
Right. Wow.
But the thing is, it's telling us to read it in a certain way and to read it through the flat map alignments, and it's giving a lot of information. It's actually too much to go into as far as just a short period of time, but I've really tried to explicate a lot of it on my website, and it's something that you really just have to kind of read through and wade through at your own leisure.
Okay.
And it will start to make sense.
Right
and
on.
I think other people will find flat map alignments. In fact, I think when you have Tom on later, he has found additional flat map alignments of his own that are related to his personal research.
Okay.
So.
I'm still trying to get the part where, all the crop circles, the other crop circles, besides the Chular one, they're done by not human, okay? But then we know the other one was human, but how does it relate? You know what I mean? Like, how can you fit it with the ones that aren't done?
Stace, you're saying that the Chular, which is the NVIDIA promotional crop circle, was done by humans, but something else came in and placed something else in the crop circle, right?
Right.
Oh,
right. I feel that they were led to that specific campaign. They were led to that specific location by their talent scouts. They were led to that specific design of a crop circle, because there are other things that, like I said, I can't go into all of it right now, but even the design of the crop circle has a lot of alignments in it that match up with the map. So all of those things, I think, were kind of nudged along by what I call an other intelligence. And this other intelligence is able to work through many different people at one time for a common goal. So we all have, different goals, and NVIDIA, who made that circle, had their goal, and it was an advertising goal. But the goal was the circle-making intelligence behind that circle that worked in a co-creative fashion with them and with me, because I've been doing these maps for so long, is saying, yes, we're listening, and yes, we're communicating, because that wasn't an accident. But again, NVIDIA didn't choose to put it there because of my maps. They didn't find a possible flat map alignment and decide to put it there just because of my maps. My maps really don't know a lot to many people because nobody really knows about them or understands them. But
interesting.
yeah.
Now,
I think they just.
I was going to say
go ahead.
So I'm sorry. So what part on this particular crop circle do you think was added afterwards?
What part of the crop circle was added?
Well, you're okay. So you're saying that everything on this crop circle right now was put there by humans, correct?
The crop circle in Chular?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
yes, I believe that was all done by people.
By people, okay. But
in fact, I about the team, in England that does it. They're pretty well known.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that it probably really was put down by people.
Okay. But you're stating why this particular location, and there is more information in this particular crop circle that was given to the people who made it that was placed in there for us to find.
Right, and they didn't realize it. I don't think they knew that they were part of a communication from an other intelligence.
Okay.
Although many crop circle makers, the men in the field, they do sense communication and they have paranormal experiences. So, I think it's all a part of their lives. They have lots of synchronicities and things happen. And I've got friends in England that make crop circles, for instance. And,
right.
It's not something that they do just for fun. There's actually something behind it. And I think that when it's more understood that these flat map alignments are a form of communication, that people are going to start to listen to them. Not everyone, because it's not for everyone.
Right.
It's very unconventional. It's not a scientific method. I mean, a flat map alignment, first off, you've got straight lines on a spherical globe. That doesn't really make sense. But it's just because that was the method I was using from the first flat map alignment, which was only 150 miles, granted. But we're talking about alignments covering, thousands of miles. Some of them, like the Bermuda Triangle. If you wanted to look at ley lines, for instance, there is another one we could talk about.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to switch gears.
Yeah.
Well, that one, you realize that one, a bunch of people died after that one, right? This one, the chip.
Right, the chip. And I think I told you about that the patent holding people on this particular chip were all on that airplane that crashed.
Yep.
So
I mean that crop circle has some stuff.
No, I had no idea.
Oh, you didn't know about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the patent on this particular chip, because how many cores did it have?
580 or something.
580
like that
core in this particular chip. The patent holders, there was four patent holders. 3 were on the airplane.
No, there's 5.
Oh, there was 5.
Four
were on the airplane that crashed in the ocean.
Yep.
And everybody died on that particular airplane. And the 5th person holding the patent was a Rothschild.
Yeah.
So now the patent goes to or that particular person, and which we found very interesting. And also, this particular crop circle lies on the 36-degree latitude, which is, everything going from left to right is, and I'm going to talk about this after I talk to you. I'm going to let everybody know what else is on the 37-degree latitude. So,
yeah, actually, the airplane disappeared.
Oh, it disappeared.
Thanks, Dar.
Thanks, Dar.
Yep.
The airplane disappeared.
Are you talking about the one that disappeared in the ocean and has never been found?
Yes, yes. The patent.
I had no idea that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's blowing me away.
Yeah, there's the one that disappeared and without a trace. Okay, not even the black box that was beeping, nothing, without a trace.
Yeah, and then the actual patent holder makes it even more weird.
Right.
Like a Rothschild. Come on.
Right. So
I mean that's
so add
weird.
that to the mystery of this particular crop circle.
Yeah, tell me about it. Okay. My goodness.
So okay, let's
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, so let's continue on with the next. Which one do you want me to go to now?
Okay, can you pull up one there that's it's talking about Bermuda Triangle?
All right, so it's
Bermuda Triangle and St. Michael Lay, and there's one that has 2 red triangles.
right, let me find that one.
Should say Bermuda Triangle there. I don't know what I named it, but
Yeah, we kind of renamed it so they would be in order.
Yeah, but I goofed.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll
but
find it.
anyways, what I did, okay, so while you're looking for that, I can tell you.
Okay, go for it.
I can tell you that in the early 1950s, well, in my family, that is one that you're going to want right there that you just clicked on a moment ago. But
yeah, that was a moment ago.
Okay. It's one that I just sent you. Okay, I just sent it to you maybe 2 hours ago, so it may even be in your inbox. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Okay, that's the all-in-one alignment map.
Okay, well, now, the triangle that you sent me with the black triangle,
Uh-huh.
is that the one you're talking about?
Okay. You can go to that one. No, that's not what I was talking about. I was actually going to talk about the Bermuda Triangle, and there's a link with the line that goes from the Pleiades to, that's the Pleiades Peak in Washington State, that's part of the Chulark list, goes to the Bermuda Triangle, where one of my father's cousins had disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle on a military flight in, I believe, 1953. And if you connect that line from the Bermuda Triangle, from the center of the Bermuda Triangle up to England, it is actually the tip line itself that goes from the Bermuda Triangle to, it becomes the St. Michael ley line, actually.
Actually, I don't think
It's
I have that
the same
one.
angle, it's the same line, and that's where all the crop circles happen in England. So it's an interesting connection there. And again, you can read more about how I came to that conclusion and found it on my website. But it's all just very clear information, and it's something that I come to rather, it feels more like intuition. But again, it's kind of like I'm listening to something that's kind of guiding me to look in certain direction.
Okay.
Well, I know.
And then I find it.
I went to your website, you know, and we're a little bit up on this stuff, you know what I mean, like researching it some. Only, man, you really have put some time into this. I could tell, like, I would need about a month to really, like, dig in there. I mean, you have a lot of good stuff. I recommend everybody listening to go check that out.
Now,
your website.
The photograph that I have up right now is the triangle, South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Yep, and that's the next step after the tip line, which is the one in the lower right part of that. You see the diagonal line there. That's the tip line. Okay? That was the first alignment that happened with the Inman crop circle. The second crop circle I went to happened to be the one up on the north side of that, at the top point there, and that's in Langdon, North Dakota. Coincidentally, I went to high school in Langdon, Kansas, and graduated from high school in Langdon, Kansas, which is just south of Plevna, on the same longitude line as Langdon, North Dakota. So interesting that was related to education, for instance. That's the way I read that. But anyways, that was the second one I went to. The third crop circle I went to, or the third state with crop circles that I went to, was the one on the left, the other point, which was Teton, Idaho.
Wow.
And it made this wonderful triangle, which is actually almost exactly the same size and at the same tilt as the Bermuda Triangle on my Bermuda Triangle map. So they look like twins on the map.
That's amazing. And Area 51 is in the middle of that.
You, like I said, about 2 hours ago, so you may not even have that one yet, and I apologize.
Well, now you're talking about the black triangle that says Langdon, Inman, and Teton.
Okay, now that is, oh my goodness, there's so many synchronicities. I wish I could. Okay, I know which one you're talking about. See, that's the actual diagram that I have used for interintelligence communications, and it actually matches the map, and it's created out of synchronicities that I've described on my website as well. But what it really indicates is the tetrahedron is our three-dimensional reality that we perceive, 3D plus time, and the parallel line there that is parallel to the tetrahedron that's tangent to it is this other dimension, which is where I believe the other intelligence that's working through the crop circles and communicating through these alignments is originating from. So the meeting point there, as you can see where the triangle is actually balanced on that tangent line, is Inman, the first crop circle, the one that I wished for back in 1995. And that's because I believe that the connecting point between our dimensions and this other dimension, wherein reside the other intelligence of the crop circles, is in man, in humans. And it is the brain, really. It's the pineal gland system. And that's the emitter and the receiver of consciousness, I think. And that's the source of the telepathy and the synchronicities and all the magic that happens in crop circles.
Wow.
Even those created men.
That's way out there.
Yeah, it's pretty far out.
All right. What other one? I'm just going to put one up, and it'll come up to you, actually, probably pretty quick here. I don't know which one this one is. Okay, so the next one I'm putting up is the Roger was in Sweetwater.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a great one. Now, that has to do with the Gray, Tennessee crop circle that actually made it to the map. I knew it needed to be on the map, but it wasn't fitting into my all-in-one alignments map until Chular arrived. When Chular came down, Gray became one of the points in the Braille number sign in the map list that stretches across the United States that we were just looking at earlier. So that's how Gray, Tennessee made it to the map. But, as you can see, the angle of that line is the same angle as the tip line. And what happened was Roger and I were both drawn to the crop circles. Roger had actually been into some crop circles before, but he felt really strongly that one was going to happen in the area where you see the lower left point. Mm-hmm. So he drove down there and, expecting a crop circle to appear, just intuiting. And when he was there at that point, somebody called and said, hey, there's one in Gray, Tennessee. So he had to hightail it up to Gray, Tennessee. Well, if you look at that line, it's the same line as where I was when I heard about the Inman crop circle. And then I had to go exactly that same direction to find the Inman crop circle.
Now,
so the tip line, again, is coming through, and it's speaking in many different ways.
Now, why, you're bringing up all these crop circles here in America. Why don't I hear about them on the media? We hear about crop circles on Facebook and on social media, in the UK. They happen over there all the time. And I always wondered, why don't they happen in America as often? But I'm looking at all of your photos that you've sent me, and apparently there are a lot here in America. Then how come we don't hear about them? And you do. How do you hear about them so fast?
I don't always hear about the crop circles. Unfortunately, I'm not that well connected. Sometimes I tend to be a loner at times and not pay attention to the news and, not check my emails all the time.
But it's not on the news.
So, right. Well, that's true. But, if I hear about a crop circle, if one of my, crappie friends happens to hear about something, and maybe they're in England or wherever, anyways, I might happen to hear about something. That's normally how it happens. But at one time, Ron Russell, who's a crop circle researcher, and I used to advertise an 800 number to airports across the Midwest. We were actually targeting farmers and crop dusters and asking anybody to call this number if you've seen any unusual crop circles in the fields. We never got a single call.
Wow.
So they really don't happen that frequently.
Okay.
You don't see them happening very often. I've been waiting for one that I could get to for years, and the last one that I maybe could have gotten to was in Wilbur, Washington. But that's like 20 hours driving for me. And, short-term, short notice on an airline ticket would be out of range, too. So some of them, even though they're here in the United States, are just really not easy to get to.
Now, the one you just mentioned. Now, the one you just mentioned in Washington. What type of field could they leave a crop circle in Washington?
It was a wheat field.
A wheat.
Yeah, they have wheat over there.
Yeah.
Huh?
Wow. Okay.
Only during certain months.
Right. Huh. Okay.
Now, unless I'm mistaken, I didn't go into that one. It could have been a barley field, but I believe it was a wheat field.
Okay.
Yeah, they do have grain fields there.
Yeah.
And in fact, there have been 3 separate crop circles in Wilbur. Wilbur also makes it to my flat alignment, flat map alignment, even though I haven't been to that one. But Tom Sanger might talk a little bit about Wilbur.
Okay.
Actually, that was one of the ways that I met Tom, because everything Pleiades had surrounded my initial crop circle investigation, and he found that on my website. And he said that he had found alignments with Pleiades Peak in Washington State, and I've never even heard of Pleiades Peak in Washington State at that time. But now it has become an essential part of the communications, and, I'm sure that's why Tom got in touch with me in the first place.
Right.
Otherwise, I may not have ever known Pleiades Peak.
Wow, that's awesome.
Okay, now, why the flat map and not the round map?
Okay, that's a really good question, and I do have an FAQ page on my website that talks about flat map alignments, because it is really confusing. It's not something that you would expect. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to read my definition that I put on my website here.
Go for it. Sure.
And then you can ask me to clarify if you need to. So a flat map alignment, or an FMA, is a visual representation of an abstract connection between 2 or more locations. And you create that by drawing lines between significant points on a flat map, as opposed to a spherical map, in a way that carries information. So as such, FMAs are a novel form of communication. So basically what's happening is you're looking at a flat map, which is an imaginary representation. It's really as close as you can get on a flat map to representing a spherical surface of the planet, right? Mm-hmm. However, using the flat map and putting these points on the map and drawing a line between the points gives you very, very significant information, and it lines up perfectly with very important points on the map. So, for instance, once gray appeared on the map when Chular came down, if you draw a line from gray through the Inman crop circle and then over through the Spanish Fort crop circle, it leads you directly to the peak of Mount Shasta. Now, again, this is on a flat map, not on a spherical map. So that's a 4-point alignment, 4 very important points. Of course, Mount Shasta is known for being
UFO hotspot.
I don't know, I guess UFO hotspot and maybe a Pleiadian energized place. I've never been there. But
actually, we took a trip there. Yeah, we took a trip there. Our family did. Took a trip there, with our fifth wheel, and we went to Mount Shasta just because of, and it being a paranormal hotspot.
Yeah,
so,
I just read there supposedly the Atlanteans or the Lemurians or something like that live in there. Something like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of information about that floating around, and I really don't know the veracity of that, but it is interesting, and I found that it was a really important alignment, especially since Chular had just brought gray to the map, and now gray was lined up with these other important points.
Okay, now I've got the map.
I see the flat map thing now.
Now I've got when you say gray, is that a town, a city?
Yes, that's actually Gray, Tennessee,
right,
where the crop circle happened. And I do think it's interesting that we have Gray, Tennessee, we have Pleiades, and there's probably some kind of relationship there, I think.
Okay, well, I am going to I'm going to pull up Gray, Tennessee. I'm going to Google it really quick here and see where it lies on the latitude. And it lies at 36 degrees. Mm-hmm. Okay. Again, that is right on the Paranormal Highway of a lot of stuff that happens right on that latitude. So, kind of weird. Is it a coincidence? I don't think so.
And I'm unfamiliar with that. I think Tom had mentioned something about that the other day when he told me about your show.
Right.
But I'm unfamiliar with that, but it is interesting because Chular and Gray fall, of course, on the same latitude.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting how that happens.
That is weird, guys. That is weird. And there's other things that fall on that latitude as well, and we'll talk about that after we talk with Stace, though.
Like
and I'm going to blow you away.
Area 51 is right in the middle of that.
Okay, well, since you mentioned that, hold on here. Hold on.
But I mean, I'm just looking at the line.
Hold on.
It goes right through
Hold on. I'm going to pull up. Oh, my God, where'd it go? I am going to kill myself that I lost it.
Well, you only have like 50 bazillion pictures.
I know, I do. I don't hear. I have area. Okay, well, anyways, area 50. Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
37 degrees.
Wow, right on the line.
Right on the line. 37 degrees, people. Okay, well, let's get back to Stace. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to pull up another photograph here that you sent me, and it's probably the ones we've already went over. So is there any other particular one you want me to... Okay, I have the one right now up that is pretty much of the whole United States, and you'll probably get it right now. Hold on.
Yeah, that's the all-in-one alignments map. So if that's the entire United States and it's got all the different alignments on it,
yeah,
all the yellow, it's got a couple of yellow triangles. Okay, so you can see where it's got the one that we were just looking at a moment ago that I used also with the tetrahedron on the tangent other dimension, which is a brain, BRANE, but that's something a little different. So then you've got all these other alignments. If I had a little more time to prepare for this, I would have tried to make another map with all the labels on there. But you can see the Chular alignment that we were talking about. You can see all the other alignments. You'd have to go to the website, and you can find that particular article. It's got,
interesting.
There's just, like I said, there's tons of information. There's almost 100 articles on my website right now, and a lot of those do have these.
And for let's go ahead and say the website right now. It's enter, and that's spelled with the I, and then enter hyphen.
Enter intelligence-communications.com.
Okay. And you'll find all this information for those who live in the United States who are interested in crop circles and how they connect to each other. And it blows me away that the Chular one is it's prominent to our area, 37 degrees and 36 degrees latitude and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's very cool stuff.
Well, yeah, and there's one other synchronicity and flat map alignment that happened when Chular came. Not only did Gray appear on the map and give us that Braille number sign map glyph, but if you draw a line from Chular through Spanish Fort, which is one of the crop circles on the map, it will go directly to Watertown, which was the Cocopelli formation. And the Cocopelli, of course, being the trickster. I think your last guest had mentioned the trickster. The trickster really speaks a lot through the crop circles, and I think it's the archetype of the trickster that we could see expressed by this other intelligence. It's playful. It's fun.
Wow.
But it's also serious because the deeper you look at it, or you find really, really important information.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why this is happening, and I wish we knew the reason. Obviously, there's, I see a bunch of triangles. There's a reason why these are all connecting. And would you happen to have a theory?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I really think that the message is, yes, we are communicating with you. We being another intelligence. I think that revelation is pretty important. I think that's the starting message, but, as we go into, eventually post-Large Hadron Collider physics, post-LHC physics eventually, I think that's, what they're bringing us into. They're kind of hinting around at that right now. So, we'll have to see how fast more information comes out. But, of course, all the information that came out in the crop circles last year started with Chular right at the end of December the year before, right at January of 2014. Really set the stage for a lot of crop circles of 2014 talking about telepathy and the mechanism of telepathy. So they're actually telling us how they're doing it, how they're communicating, how they're creating these synchronicities. So it's a starting point. It's something that I think we'll find out more about as we go forward.
Wow. Awesome.
It's interesting stuff.
It is, because it's like you said, it's the synchronicity with the nativity. I mean, in Chular, and that's just blowing me away. Right, I didn't realize it was on the 36 degrees. That's not a coincidence. I'm sorry, it's not. So, all right, Stace, that's awesome. Will you do me a favor? And I want to keep this going. And I want you to let us know when there are crop circles. If anybody's going to know, it's going to be you in America. When there's another crop circle that occurs, please let me be aware of it. Let me know.
All right.
All right, because I want to definitely keep this going with you. And you're going to be our contact for crop circles in the United States because we need to keep this going.
Excellent. Thank you. That sounds great. You know, I love to talk about crop circles.
and when the one does appear, we have fans all over the United States. If you can let me know where this occurs, we can hopefully get somebody close by in that area to drive over there and take photographs or video before it gets taken down by whoever. Like the Chular thing happened. So,
absolutely.
And that's the whole idea of getting there before before they take it down, whoever they may be. So let's please keep this going, and whenever you hear about another crop circle, and again, it could be in another part of the world, I want to hear about it from you. All right.
All right. Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, Stace.
Like one more time on the website.
It's enter.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
Okay. Enter-intelligence-communications with an S at the end.com.
Okay, and real quick, one caveat I really need to mention, and I almost forgot.
Yes.
The maps are in a new format now. I think Google Maps updated, and I no longer have access to the flat maps. Oh. I think that there is a way that I can get back onto some flat maps and start to do these alignments again. But right now, all I can find are the curved line maps. So if you open up a link to one of my maps, you may see that it's not a flat map alignment anymore. It's actually been converted to Google Earth. And I didn't do that, but I don't know how to make them go back. So.
Okay. Right on. Okay. Good information.
Okay.
Thank you, Stace, for coming on tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right, and keep in contact. Yeah, keep in contact. I'm serious. The next time you hear about a crop circle, I want you to call me. I want to send you my 24-hour hotline so that way you can call me anytime. I don't care what time it is because like I said, our fan base is very, very large. And as soon as you get me the information on a recent crop circle, I can put it out there to our fans, and we can get the closest person to get out there. Okay?
That sounds great.
Awesome.
I will do it.
Awesome. Thank you, Stace. Talk to you soon.
Stace.
All right, thanks again, guys.
Okay, no problem. Thanks. Good connection to have right there.
Yeah.
Crop circles in America, it's one thing that we were not connected with.
No, not really, huh?
No, we had no connections at all with crop circles. As a matter of fact, she's pointing out all these crop circles that I never even knew occurred in the United States. I mean, I didn't because, the only place we would hear about these things would be social media and obviously other crop circles. But even Cheryl, my wife, she's into the crop circles, and most of them are in the UK.
Yeah.
And that's it. And now, at least we have now a great connection here. So.
Well, I've heard of a few around, but they're far and few in between.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Very limited. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something that and you know what? It's really nobody knows where to report it. I think.
Right.
It probably happens a lot, and there's nobody. Who do you call? Who do you call? Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now our next guest is we're going to go ahead and segue right into it. His name is Tom, and I'm going to let him.
Yeah, it looks like. Those look like all those lines. It looks like chemtrails.
Chemtrails. Ooh. Yeah. Tom, are you there?
I am here. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, and let everybody know what your last name is, Tom.
It's not ridiculous. I mean, it is ridiculous, but it's not ridiculous. It's Sanger, Sanger.
Yep, Tom Sanger. And
Yep.
Tom Sanger called me how many years ago, dude?
Whoa, 2 years ago, something like that?
Yeah. How did you hear about me? It's funny.
I heard initially, if anybody's had Acmac crackers. Maybe you have those? Made in Sanger, California. So I knew about that for years. Then my brother visited the town, so I knew about it. Yeah, and then about 2 years ago, I just Googled it, wondering what's going on in Sanger, California. And I saw the Sanger Paranormal Society. I went, no, come on, you're kidding. Really? So, yeah, then I just had to call you.
Right on. So now you called me because you are into UFOs, ufology. You've had experiences. Tell everybody your experiences. I mean, go from
Yeah, I'm not a researcher at all. So this has been going on since 1988, and I barely look into the subject. So, what word do you use? Experiencer? Some people use that.
Yeah,
Contactee, which I guess is kind of, a joke nowadays, that term.
Right.
That's kind of more what I am rather than a researcher.
Or an
I experienced the
abductee.
phenomenon.
Like abductee,
and it all
maybe?
started in 1988 in Seattle. Rather abruptly and traumatically.
What happened in Seattle? I mean, come on, fill us in.
Oh, that would take me an hour to explain, but it was absolutely bizarre, surreal, extreme, and ultra traumatic. It was amazing.
Okay, so
but I had to it was early 1988, but I had to kind of work my way through that part of it, the pre-internet where you can't really look anything up. You're kind of stuck by yourself.
Yeah.
And I kind of worked my way through it, but what I realized was, how can the universe, if there's intelligence out there, how can it all be negative? So what I did is I just kind of put out there, hey, I'm going to make myself available to this phenomenon, whatever it is. And a lot more detailed stuff happened, but I ended up going to a mountain called Mount Larrabee, and the jagged ridge coming off of that is called the Pleiades. You can actually look that up on a map. It's just north of Mount Baker in the North Cascades, right on the Canadian border. Matter of fact, half of the mountain is in Canada. And there's a Canadian border peak and then an American border peak at Mount Larrabee and Pleiades. And it's very odd because it's red rock, which is out of place. And it's kind of the very end of the Cascade Range. It just kind of ends right there, and then you have farmland in Canada. But we went up there, and that's when our experiences, all the other stuff before that, I could go on for 4 hours with the surreal, traumatic roller coaster. But this is when our experiences really started, was up there.
Wow. Okay. Now, ever since was that your first UFO experience or abduction scenario? I guess.
Yeah. Well, abduction means something happening to you against your will. So no, that doesn't even qualify in there.
Okay.
But we had gone. Friends and I had gone backpacking up in the Cascades, and I don't even know where we were so long ago. But that was the mid-'80s. And we're sitting by a campfire, and this light comes over, and we're talking, so I'm in this state of, not really paying much attention. But the darn thing did a 90-degree angle turn, just boom, boom, totally blew us away. And then I spent probably 4 hours in my sleeping bag just watching these lights go over all night. Like a freeway up there. Everybody who lives up in that area will tell you that there's a lot of UFO activity. They don't even hide it. They just fly around.
Wow. I want to go.
Yeah. Road trip.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, all right. So, now you called me last Thursday, and you were telling me that you guys have something coming up here in the near future. Tell everybody that. What's going on?
Right. Are you talking about the event up there?
Yeah, the event up there, and in...
yeah, it's really become an amazing thing because it's tied in perfectly with what Space was doing, or is doing, your last guest Space, and then things that have happened with me with alignments and so on. And I'm aligning things now with these other groups for an event where we're going to be up at the Pleiades, and we'll just say the Pleiades area because it's Mount Baker, the volcano, and we're going to be up in that area for August 15th and do a UFO night watch and have some cameras, etc. And then there's going to be a group down at the San Luis Reservoir.
Okay, now let's stop right there. St. Louis
Yeah.
This is where I blew you away.
This was, yep. I was adequately blown away. And the person who's going there, I told her, you better sit down, because she was really blown away. Okay,
St. Louis Reservoir, which is west of us. And what is so particular, what's so, what's so exciting about this place? This is like a dinosaur.
Well, here's how bizarre the experience can be. I had a meetup group here in Tucson, which total failure. But I decided to try to contact other meetup, if people know what meetup groups are.
Right.
Meetup.com, and you know what a meetup group is?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think most people do. So I thought, this would be cool. I'm going to contact other meetup groups around. But a lot of them are kind of borderline. But I got in touch with this one in the San Jose area, Santa Clara, California. And what these people are just down to earth folks. This is great. So I worked it out with the one person there to have a co-event where we're here in Tucson in our little canyon area where we see UFOs all the time. And they'd be up at whatever location they wanted to be, and then we'd have a phone conversation while we're both in these two different locations. Well, they went to the San Luis Reservoir, and I think they had some bad weather or something, and nothing really happened. But they had established that as a cool place to go. Well, it turns out due to events that happened to friends of mine in Washington just a couple weeks ago, there's a perfect alignment, just like Stace was talking about, flat map alignment that goes right through from the Pleiades through the lake they were at, right to the San Luis Reservoir. And then, of course, we find out the San Luis Reservoir is at 37.06.
Yeah.
The location there, the actual location at the reservoir they're going to.
Exactly. I have that up right now from Wikipedia. It is 37 degrees perfectly, guys.
Yes, it is. Yep. And the actual spot they're going to go to is 37.06.
Wow.
So, yeah, I know.
Wow.
So we're going to be doing our Pleiades event up there on August 15th. They're going to be doing their event down here.
Right.
And the only spot up there in that Mount Baker area that has cell phone reception for some bizarre reason is the place we're going to go to. Everything else is just no cell phone. So we'll be able to communicate with them on that evening. Then I've got another meetup group I'm going to contact, and I looked where they are, and they're on an exact point alignment in another way outside of Portland with this lake they can go to. So I'm going to contact them to join in, and then I have a friend in BC, Canada, in Vancouver, who goes to a place where he videos UFOs all the time over this mountain, and he's probably going to go there. And he has a French documentary crew that's doing a documentary on him and UFO activity in the BC area, and they might do something up there. So this whole thing is expanding.
Well, I like I told you, if it's going to happen in August, hopefully we will have our TV show by then and still recording, or actually still filming more episodes, I would like to take the film crew to that location in St. Louis Reservoir, which is just not too far away from us at all. And
no, I looked it up. It's not that far at all.
No, so and let's get the guys out there with our camera crew and see if anything happens to pop up. You never know, man. I mean,
yeah. Well, things are. I think a lot of people think. Well, I know they do, because they feel like if they maybe go someplace, they'll be lucky enough to see a UFO. And it's not like that. Just like Stace is talking about, this is all very organized by the beings out there. They're laying down all these messages, and just need to know how to read them. And all these flat map alignments that just suddenly come out of the blue for me. I never look into this stuff. All of a sudden, I have this urge to do it. And these alignments are just incredible. They're phenomenal. They're going right from point to point to point. One of them goes down to the Nazca line. Goes all the way from Washington State exactly to the Nazca lines through all these other points. And I'm going, okay, I got it.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So to me, they're expanding the phenomenon with these little subtle messages, and I think there's going to be events that they're going to stage eventually, but time for them is different than time for us. So.
Right.
I'm not one of these people that's going to say, ooh, August. For all I know, they're laying some groundwork here in August and, expand from there. But
cool.
I'm not privy to what they're going to do.
Right.
What is your relationship with them? Is it like a good one or a bad one or scary?
I've gone through so many different categories, I guess you could say, because it started off just surreal, ultra-traumatic, confusing. I had no idea what to do with it. And then I started to see some little glimpses of them doing things in at least as far as positive beings out there, doing things in a very organized way. I was going, wow, these guys are super smart. I even started calling them the big drivers, because it's like they drive the big car up there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some are really big.
So it kind of came to me that there's a lot of people like me. We're kind of liaisons between the ETs and humanity, and it doesn't make us special. It's just kind of a job description, where we, move all of this forward and do it in a positive way. Take the paranoia out of it. So I've taken people out to our local canyon here in Tucson, and we've had experiences. We've had tons of them. Absolutely amazing stuff. And it changes it's almost like a trigger mechanism inside of them. Triggers this new awareness. It may affect their dream state, etc.
So when you're out there in Arizona and you take some people out there who don't believe in you, and now can you call them in?
Well, I know there's a lot of groups out there that think you have to meditate and all that. Here's the analogy I would use. If you're at a bus stop and there's people waiting at the bus stop, do you tell the people at the bus stop they have to meditate in order for the bus to get there?
Nope.
That would be kind of absurd. So the way we look at it is they're using telepathy. They already know we're there and why we're there, and all we've got to do is just be there. So we just tend to have normal conversations, not even putting any effort out, and boom, there they are.
Now, when you say there they are, how do they appear to you guys? Obviously, lights in the sky. Is that what you guys witness?
Initially, up at the Pleiades, we'd have to hike up a couple miles. Initially, in the one area, we'd set up a tent. And the first time, a light came across on a diagonal and made a big glow, and then the This is 1988, so forget the Iridium satellites and all that. And I just got this feeling that there was laughter, which is really odd. But I didn't feel like they were laughing at me, more like laughing with me. Like the whole thing is cool, you know. And we went up there the next year. That was 88. In 89, we went up to the same place, and the same thing. A light went over, except it made a brighter glow, and then it stayed larger than it was when I initially saw it. And I got the kind of message that we would experience, that this was a more expanded experience than we had just had the last year. Then later in 89, we hiked up all the way to the ridge where you're looking at the Pleiades on one side to the north, and out through the big volcano to the south. And we were out there all night, you know, in our sleeping bags, looking at what we thought might be a UFO, and it's an airplane. And we got bored, went in the tent, and my friend all of a sudden sits up and said, "What's that?" And it's this light going across the Canadian airspace where there's tons of jets. And I thought nothing of it, and it just stopped dead. Just going along, stopped dead, did a 90-degree angle turn up almost over our heads and went down to the volcano. And we scrambled out of the tent and went down this little alpine meadow. And the next thing we know, we're back at the tent in this altered state. Yeah. So we had missing time, but I never knew what happened. This was in 89. So in the mid-90s up until, I think, 98, somewhere in there, I worked with a professional therapist here in Tucson, and we did some really deep regression work.
Ooh.
And I found out that we were actually picked up, and that these guys are from Zeta Reticuli. However, there's a negative group of Zetas who do abductions against your will, and they're all they're so degenerate, everyone thinks they're machines or something, that they're not even sentient, you know.
Yeah, like
but
those are the grays.
This is a whole different group.
Yeah.
Did you happen to record the regression?
Ooh, I don't think on that one we did. We tried recording, and we did. It turned out very poor because everything was done on tape, and we tried a double microphone, and that failed. And so I've got a couple sessions somewhere, but they're probably all wiped out so long ago.
Okay, that's cool. Wow, that's awesome.
But what's really awesome about it is this little guy was really super intelligent, uses telepathy. He took us off the planet, and we looked down. This was in 1989, don't forget. We're looking down at the planet, and there was something conveyed to us about the significance of the point on the planet and points up there in that local area. So now look what the work space is doing with all these alignments. And then we were taken, I mean, this is in regression work. We were taken all the way off planet to see the planet as a whole. And the planet has that kind of a light or, surrounding it. And, we were told that, this is a living beingness that we're looking at, that we're dealing with a living intelligence when we're experiencing these things. So that's all I remember.
Now,
so they will, block the information. You voluntarily allow them to block the information, and then it's opened up at the correct time later on, like a trigger.
What type of trigger? Is it something that they do to trigger it?
Yeah, it would be either by time or event. So what's really odd is when we've seen these very definite UFOs at night here just outside of Tucson in this canyon. This one person I took up there, she'd never seen one before. And all we saw was the lights show up, it drifted, and then it went into this big glow, and then subsided. And of course, I went and checked, the Heavens Above site, if you ever looked at that. Heavensabove.com. It'll tell you where and when Iridium satellites are going.
Okay.
Or the International Space Station. So you look that up and you look at the time and place you were.
Right.
And no, there was nothing there. But the next day, she's in this super altered state, and I was too. So just us seeing that worked as a trigger. It triggers information in you that is seeded by the ET.
Wow.
So what I've gathered is the ET are going all around the planet feeding everybody with this information, and when certain events happen, it triggers all this knowingness and emotion in them.
Now, when you said that you're looking at a live, breathing, whatever, I forgot what exact wording.
Not breathing.
You were talking about Earth.
Yeah, a living being-ness, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was their message at that time that we're basically messing up messing up the Earth, as far as pollution and
that's just it.
Destroying it.
They only give to you what is needed. It's almost like working in a cell or something, or people who work in the spy agencies, whatever. They're only given little snippets of things. They don't get to see the big picture. And I think that's the way it is with, what do you call us nowadays? Contactees or experiences? I don't know what we're called. Whatever. But we're only given these little road markers. So as far as that experience, even with the regression work, virtually everything was blocked, except me knowing that we got to see the Pleiades area from above, even though, oddly enough, it was pitch dark. I don't even know how they did that. And then we got to actually go out and see the entire planet, and there was kind of a little lecture given. But that's from regression work, so, people could go, well, whatever, the therapist is leading you or whatever, but we've done so much of it, we're past that. We know when things are, true and not.
Huh. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. For the date is August the 14th, right?
Well, we're going to have the event for us up there is the 14th and 15th, so Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
But Friday's kind of informal with a bunch of people who know each other. But
right.
Saturday we'll probably have more people, and we're going to have a dinner together. We might even have someone do a little presentation, talk. And then we all head up towards the volcano. So that's the 15th is the primary day. And then the folks from the South Bay meetup group in Santa Clara, they're going to go to the reservoir on the 15th.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, maybe we can make
on
that.
Saturday the 15th,
so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to have to give me the contact information to the person in charge in that at that site, so we can possibly get get something going on there.
So does
I've given her your number, so yeah.
Okay.
Does all the people that we'll be hooking up with at the reservoir, all of them are experiencers? Or are you the only experiencer? Or
it's a meetup group. In a meetup group, you tend to get all kinds of different kinds of people.
Okay. Yeah, we kind of do
nice
that
thing about
too.
The meetup group is they're just a real bunch of down-home folks.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we do that here too. We call it sky watching.
Right.
But I'll put the word out, and then a whole bunch of people from Facebook and people that listen to the show will all meet out in the middle of nowhere, and sit out there, and really all we do is sit and talk. We never see anything really.
Right. So, right on. Okay. Well, you know what, Tom? Thanks for coming on tonight. I think we're going to definitely make that August 15th day trip to. I mean, it's a Saturday, and it's not, like you said, it's not too far away from us at all.
No, it's not too far at all.
So,
can I give out I made up an email address just for this show.
Sure.
Yeah.
Alone. Can I do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's a simple one. It's just T as in the letter T,
Like as
and
in
then
Tom.
Sanger as in Sanger, California,
Okay.
and then 1111 at gmail.com. So T Sanger 1111 at gmail.com.
So that's T as in Tom, Sanger, 4
Sanger.
ones, right? 4 ones.
Right.
41
at gmail.com.
Right.
gmail.com, and that's just specifically for anyone who wants to contact me from listening in.
Okay.
Cool.
Right on. And yeah, for those people who are listening and maybe want to go, who live near these areas, then hey, let's make it happen for you guys. So.
Yes, indeed. They can contact me, and we can make this all work.
Awesome.
You know, if they have night vision equipment and all that, that makes it even cooler.
Right on. Yeah, absolutely. So.
Yeah, I wonder who has any of that.
Us. So. All right, Tom. Thanks, man. And I know you're tired because I think you worked today, so I'm going to let you go.
I did work.
So I'm going to go let you go so you can go and relax now. Okay.
Oh, thanks, Tom.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
a
Tom.
lot.
Give me a call whenever. All right.
I will indeed. I'll keep you updated with what's going on here in Tucson and everything else.
Right on. Okay, Tom.
Tucson.
Take care. See ya.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, no
Good
problem.
night.
Good night. All right. Well,
I'd like to go hook up with him in Tucson.
Tucson, if he can, yeah. if he
Down
can-
there, like, what is it, Arizona, right?
Right.
Isn't Arizona like the, UFO hotspot of the world or something?
Yeah, there's, I don't want to call them red bluffs, but there are, and he probably lives right around that area where there are.
Man, what is that one place called? It's like it's supposed to have I know Chatwood, but the thing died.
Your
but
iPad died on you.
yeah, it's like Portal or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They call it the Bell, or is that what they call it?
I remember that.
Man, I can't remember
I
the
can't
name.
remember either. So, all right. Well, we got about 15 minutes right around there. You know what?
That
we
was
haven't
really fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
show,
You
yeah.
know, made some good contacts tonight. Let's wait for Alex Chinetti to find out what's really going on with those slides in Mexico on the Cinco de Mayo. And let's find out what happens there. He seems to think it's really nothing, just all promotion for a documentary or a movie or something like that. So, again,
All about the money.
yeah, again, I don't know. We're just going to let it play out and see what the professionals say. There are some UFOologists that are well known going to this place on the Cinco de Mayo, and let's see what they say. It's all we can do is wait. Obviously, they didn't want Alex to go, so maybe because he knows it was a bunch of phony baloney, and that's why they didn't want him there. So Emerald,
What?
turn on your microphone.
What?
You haven't been here in a long time. What have you been doing?
I'm full time now at work. Yay!
Yay! That's cool.
Work. A
That's
lot of
good.
work in school. Almost done. I graduate in December, so I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
And next year, when?
This year.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do after you
I'm.
graduate?
See, I wanted to do military, but I can't because of my eyes anymore.
Oh.
So I've had a few professors tell me that I should consider grad school. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So that would be really, really cool.
So, like, if you do grad school, does that mean you're going to go in teaching?
No. I kind of want to go into research and development, like predictive policing, working with data and stuff like that. So that would be really cool. Might come in handy with the show too, with spreadsheets and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I say so. Absolutely. Okay. Cool deal. Cool.
That would be really cool. Like, you could be telling us what is this jade helm thingamajiggy right now, or whatever.
You know
that
who
is,
would tell us probably would be your professor, I'm thinking.
yes,
Now
Has
I
he talked
contact
about it?
actually has he talked about it?
I don't think so.
No. Okay. Emerald a couple days ago sent me his email, and I did respond back to his email, and he told Emerald yes on coming on.
Well, he said he
But-
couldn't do Sundays, and he wants to know a little bit more because he didn't know
Well-
what exactly you wanted him to talk about.
Well, obviously talk about the stuff that he talks about
yeah,
in your
that's
class.
what I told him. I was like, anything that has to do with people saying it's a conspiracy is kind of what we cover.
Okay.
And right now he's doing a study on 9/11, which is really awesome right now too. So,
Really?
I bet he's finding that it was rigged.
Well,
the whole thing
you
was
know,
rigged.
you know what? Right now, it's on social media that it's really coming out that the Saudis. I mean, at the very beginning, they said that the Saudis were involved somehow, and nobody really played on that. But the media right now are coming out and saying, you know what? We think the Saudis are involved, which a lot of people knew that back in the days when this happened, because supposedly right before the buildings came down, airplanes, that a lot of high Saudi personnel were taken out of the country in private airplanes out of here.
Yeah, like living in one place and happy neighbors, and then right before the Twin Towers,
gone. And
the whole family left all the furniture, everything in their house.
Right.
I mean,
so
really weird.
So we have to figure out. That's actually been hit hard now on the media lately. So we'll see what happens out of that.
I'm pretty mad at the media. What do you think, Emerald?
The media is just a puppet.
Yeah.
Basically, they're going to say what they're being paid to say.
Right.
Like our professor always says, you got to think for yourself. If you don't listen to media, go out and try to figure this stuff out on your own, because you're going to get different answers.
I think they're stirring it up. I mean, I actually believe like all this stuff in Baltimore and
let's talk about that.
The media. Let me tell you something right now. It's not. How could I put this without sounding horrible?
You probably
it doesn't matter.
It's horrible.
We know who you are already, so it doesn't matter.
Shut up. The media is playing it as a race. It's not. I mean, the only thing you see on the media right now is black people looting and stuff.
Right.
I could go onto the internet and find a bunch of pictures of white people in that area doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You can't categorize like that, and that's what the media is doing, because that's what they want you to believe. And I mean, I tell people I'm not racist. I hate everybody equally.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's.
You're right, because we're sitting around talking about it. They had the news on, and I refused to watch it really, but they had it on, and then everybody wanted to talk about it. We're having this little get together thing, and everybody asked me, this is what you do. What do you think? And I told them, let me ask you this. Do you have a problem with race? Really? I mean, everybody, even in the audience, in your daily life, as you're going about your business, is race really something? I mean, or when the news comes on, is it stirring it into something? And everybody's reacting to it.
Well, we're in my other crim course. That's why I love crim, because it plays with psychology and stuff like that. There's a book. I can't think of it. The Power of Thinking Without Thinking. And I think I mentioned it before on the show.
I think you have.
And this was last semester, because I had another teacher who was talking about this. And she uses the word primed. We're primed to be the way we are. We interpret the world the way we see it, not how other people see it. So when you get words like orange juice, Florida, old people's homes, stuff like that, you're going to think of certain type of people. Same thing with other things, with other trigger words. And that's how you're going to categorize people. And it's just how we are. Now, if we catch ourselves doing it, we could prevent how we act on it. Right. But you're always going to think that way.
Yeah, you'll instantly trigger without even thinking.
You're always going to be primed. But if you know you're being primed, or you're the way you think about stuff, the way your primes act, you could stop that action before.
See, I do that. Like, I have this saying, because I have 6 kids, and and then their friends, and and it makes a lot of people. If they know your hot button, what ticks you off, what sets you off and makes you mad, even though they hate what's going to happen, they do it because they can manipulate you, right? So nobody knows what makes me mad. I mean, I don't have a hot button to them.
Yeah.
Right? Even though I'll be fuming on the inside, but only I refuse to let someone manipulate me, even to the extent of pushing a hot button to make me mad. I feel like I'm being used by them.
Yeah. So going back to the media, it's not what they're saying. It's what we're primed to see, and they're going to play on that.
Yeah.
They have been. And it's not one type of people. It's not 2 types of people. It's everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you look at it, like when they arrested the cops that they said
hurt
the guy.
Right.
It was a mixture.
It was 3 blacks and 3 whites.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm thinking that they kept that out of the media. The pictures they kept that out of the picture. I saw it on social media, but they kept it off the major media because if the black people would see that, they were gonna go, oh,
we got played.
Well, not even that. There was a thing, and I don't know how true it was. I just thought it was kind of ironic. There were numbers of police, people who were killed by police according to race.
Right.
And again, I don't know if this data was correct, but the number of white people was almost double the number of the black people that were killed. And that's because the media doesn't show you everything. The media is going to play you.
Right. Okay, now let's continue on. We only got, 8 minutes left.
Yeah. Sorry, I like
No.
this stuff.
The Walmart closing, the military vehicles. Now, Alan just told me, and I'm going to go and I'm going to go and visually see if this is correct, that at the fairgrounds they're bringing in, in Fresno, they're bringing in more military equipment, and they're parking it there. I know on the north side of the Fresno airport, they're bringing in a lot more military equipment and they're parking it there. I noticed there's a lot more military vehicles being brought in. What is going on is maybe something headed our way. Now, we talked about September, something happening in September. Rumors are going around that the East Coast waters of the Atlantic Ocean is going to get hit by a very large meteor.
Like in Puerto Rico.
The Puerto Rico. Now, I remember hearing about this a couple of years ago.
Right.
Okay.
2 years.
About 2 years ago, it was really apparent that something was coming, and they are tracking it, and it's going to be hitting on the Atlantic Ocean, which means that, the East Coast is gone. Now, let's talk about that. I don't know if that's true or not, guys. All right. Now, September, there's supposedly going to be a September surprise. Is that what all this military vehicles being, taken to certain location and stored? Are they getting ready for something? The Walmarts that were shut down, 4 in Texas, 1 in Pico Rivera, 5 of them, I think, total. What is the purpose of this happening? Why the Walmarts? I don't know. No clue. We have no idea. They said plumbing issues. Bullshit. Beep. I don't think that's the case.
Nice.
All right. Now, let's continue on. Is maybe this whole race thing going on in Baltimore? Is it something to keep us occupied while all this is being
Not even that. It could prelude to it. They could be like, well, you guys are doing this, this, and this, so we need to do this, this, and this to you, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to try to keep us, quote unquote, under control.
Well, okay, so
they're going to use the media stirring it up.
Now, I remember, and I think I posted it on my Facebook, that they had a female general of the National Guard in Baltimore, as they were coming in, states that, we're going to come in to assist the police, but this is not martial law. And she actually brought that up.
Right.
Now, is it maybe that they are moving all this equipment in certain locations because maybe that there is a false flag coming to make this even worse than it is? Maybe the Baltimore incident is just the beginning. Maybe they are thinking about, something very bigger that is really going to set people off.
It looks like they're trying to set people off.
Right.
I mean, it really does. And then, back to your September thing. Okay, now, Jeff, we were messaging, and Jeff said, so what's going on with this meteor, or comet or something like that in September?
Right.
So I started looking, and for 3 years, there is hundreds of YouTube videos all the way till this week, current, of people having dreams of a meteor, or they're calling it a comet, hitting by Puerto Rico.
Right.
Okay, and some of the dreams, and some of them are, well-known people that has these dreams, and they're saying they even saw one coming from the Los Angeles side, like on the West Coast. Okay,
Pacific.
And I don't know if it's supposed to be like that one, and it goes all the way around,
or one breaks off and then a part of it comes this way.
Yeah, because they're also in it. Russia is taking it. They're the one that leaked this comet. Okay, and they leaked it and said the comet's coming in, and now everybody's shooting off ballistic missiles, testing them. America has, China has, Russia has, and they're just testing them, but only to test them to hit the comet.
Maybe.
Okay. Then you guys heard about the blood moons and everything,
right? Which is happening in September.
It happens right on September, and supposedly right on the date this thing's supposed to like hit the water.
Really?
Yeah.
And the Atlantic Ocean, what surrounds the Atlantic Ocean is Spain, that area. Well, the Pope is going to be in the United States at that time. Now, obviously, if the Pope stayed in Spain, which Rome and all that area, if there's a massive tidal wave,
it's going to wipe it out.
It's going to wipe the Vatican out and whoever's in it.
Or it's going to set off that big old giant.
Emerald is going, yes, Vatican is gone, yes. Whatever, it's funny. So what if? Now, I heard that the Pope is coming to New York, I believe, to talk to Congress. Okay,
separation of church and state.
So he's going to talk to Actually, from what I understand, he's going to be talking to Congress about climate change. I think that's what it is. Supposedly, that's what it is. So let's just say, for example, now remember that the NORAD in Colorado, they're moving equipment back in that mountain from the Cold War because they're saying
that there's going to be a comet hit the coast and it's supposed to flood out that thing, and that's why they're moving it. I mean, that is the story.
So right now, you guys, there is evidence out there to tell us that our military is definitely getting ready for something. What it is, I don't know. We're telling you right now, okay, we got 1 minute to go. I'm telling you right now that I heard of the meteor on the East Coast 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. All right. So is that what's happening? I don't know. But I know for a fact our military is getting ready. They're getting ready for something. What it is, I don't know. So the month ago show that I had on prepping, you guys better take that into damn consideration and start now.
Yeah. Good
idea.
It?
Okay. All right. That's all I have to say.
Even just a scare of, the people getting scared of all the military coming in could clean the shelves off.
Right.
And we might have to live 3 or 4 days just because of that.
I'm just telling you right now what's come down over the wire. I know what's going on out there. People are talking. People are videotaping these vehicles and military moving all over the United States, trains and trains of vehicles. So that music time? All right, that's it. We're out of here. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back next Sunday for 3 more hours of the same stuff that you guys enjoy a lot. So for Jeffrey, Alan, Emerald, and Danny, I want to thank you for showing up. Thank you. Good night, and we shall see you next Sunday. Bye.
Bye, chat.
Hi.
All the people in chat.
You've been listening to Paranormal Central with Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting worldwide at ParanormalCentral.net and on ArtBell.com. Stay tuned for next time. Remember to keep your eyes to the skies. And we hope you witness something you cannot explain.
Click.
Clear.
You've been disconnected.